Hello, everybody. Welcome to our third edition of SciVivor Sunday. And this is so, what is the word? Fitting, because today we're talking about time. And I have to find the exact quote or section where Richard talks about this, but um, there's a law. It's either a law or a rule where it talks about how you think that things are going to take a certain amount of time and then they take a lot longer. So like just now, I'm just like, I had my green screen set up, I got my light set up, and I'm just kind of like moving around the van, getting things, all nice and made some tea. And then I look and it's 104 and I'm like, oh, right, I'm streaming. Thank you, Brand. Yeah, this my sister made this necklace actually. Some lucky winner won the second edition of this necklace. The mold was created by using 3D print technology, and then she used like a coloring and like injection thing to make the necklace, and then yeah, it's actually very rough. Like you can't see it really on camera, I don't think, but the back is it's a little messed up, it was a first run kind of deal. And but she's getting better at using that kind of technology and bought some kind of machine that gets all the air bubbles out of the mold or the plastic. So the second edition of this is going to be a little bit different. It'll be thicker because this size, it's hard to get them to be sturdy at this size. So she's going to do one where it's probably maybe a little bit less than twice the thickness of this, and there will be a backing. So there'll be a different color. The one that she showed me that I think we're going to do first is we're going to do a pink background and then yellow for the actual hexagons. So yeah, work in progress, but that is something that I'm hoping to have a good chunk of them, maybe like 20 to 50 necklaces done for PulseCon to sell my wares there. That would be really neat. And then what I was trying to say is someone that won my contest, I had a audio Easter egg hidden in chapter 6 of SciVive. I think on YouTube and on Twitter now, if you look hard enough, you can find the timestamp of where that is. But I implore you to listen to chapter 6 and try and find where my audio Easter egg is. But anyways, contest's over and somebody already won that necklace. So yeah, anyways, thanks for bringing that up. Thanks for helping me kill time, because I do have a guest who will be arriving at some point. Thothschild, very excited about having him on and discussing all things time. And it was funny. He was like, yeah, of course, the day that we're going to do this, this happens and this, the same thing. Like I woke up this morning and just my cat had pissed on the floor up in the front of the van, and I love her, but she's getting old, man. She's 15. So it's just like, okay, how do I solve this problem now? And let me see if I can find this quote. More time. No. Take time. I'm sure we'll come across it as we read. If you all want to read along or just, have chapter 7 open, that's where we're going to be kind of skipping around back and forth through chapter 7. Let me check on a thing real quick. I need to just see if my guest is somewhere waiting or has messaged me at all. We might also have miscommunicated on the time, but let's see. Yeah, no, I think we're good. Anyways, yeah, I'll just keep on keeping on for a minute. And again, thank you all so much for tuning in. I really love that this is becoming a regular thing and that people are becoming more interested in SciVive. I personally think that this is one of the things that, while Richard doesn't have time to do, he appreciates. Like, I feel that very, very much. And I feel that this is something that is going to, in the long run, especially, really help his image and help the people out there who, you know, maybe don't take him seriously or don't consider him a figure to look up to, because he is, y'all. Like, I mean, I'm guessing that if you're here, that some of you have read SciVivor, have at least, you know, at least followed Richard for years and know a little bit about him. And if not, if you're new and you don't have any clue who this dude is, let me tell you, he is fixing the world. And one interesting thing I just recently started to dive into, in case you did not know, Richard does have 2 books. Someone mentioned in the SciVivor chat that there are 3, but I don't know about that. If there's a 3rd book, someone tell me about it, because I have no idea. But basically, oh, hold on. Hold that thought. I got to check something real quick. Let's see.
Oh, goodness gracious.
It's Thothschild. It's a voice message. Hold on. Oh. He was having electricity issues, and he sorry everyone. Okay. Okay, so hopefully he shows up. He is having electricity issues. For those of you that just joined, Thothschild is supposed to make his presence known with us as well. So yeah, hopefully he does. If not, I mean, I was gonna do this on my own all the time anyways. So it's really cool to me that people actually are interested enough to want to come on and discuss this stuff. And especially because I feel like I'm newer to, especially things like longevity. That's probably my biggest question mark on a lot of the sci-fi topics. Like his last chapter, Richard does chapter 10 is longevity. And other than listening to Aubrey de Grey and maybe Maddie talked about it a little bit, I have not read. There's an article that Richard links in the SciVivor Telegram that talks about longevity, and I haven't had a chance to read that. I really haven't had a chance to research or look into longevity at all. That was actually my first thought, that we were going to talk about longevity today, because I'm interested in it. In fact, if there is anyone watching this or who watches on the replay and is interested in longevity, has maybe some more information about it and has looked into it, please contact me, because I would really love to have you on and have us discuss more about longevity and what is up with that and how it even works, right? Like, what kind of technologies are they using, and how has the science evolved in terms of what we're looking at and how that works. So really interesting. What is up, Rags? Nice to see you. Let's say what's up to the chat. Chase Jonathan, Valiant Brand. Hex on Air appears just like me. Look at you. I love it. Functional Crypto, first time. Welcome. Let's see. Sax, you are welcome. I am grateful that the first rendition of SciVivor is done. In case you don't know, there will be a second, more well done professional version. However, that is currently on the back burner because the text needs to be edited so that it can be published. So once SciVivor is edited for publishing, or at least very close, I mean, I'm going to do my best, and hopefully it will be in a state where it can actually be published, and we'll have a physical copy of this awesome book to give to people. And so once it's ready for publishing, it's going to flow a lot better, and it'll be better to read. So I'm going to redo it after that. Let's see who else we got here. Did I say Rags? Yeah, I don't think I did. Hi, Rags. What's up, Rags to Riches? What you doing? Yeah, yes, SciVivor is super important, and it's been interesting to me to hear his change in priorities over these last couple years. I watched a stream where, when he was working on Hex, the next thing he was going to do is SciVive. And now it's not on his list. I'm sure it is. I'm sure in the background it's something that he's, like I said, I can tell that he's appreciative of this. I know that he likes attention being brought to it, and he's stoked about the editing happening and redoing the audio at some point. But yeah, it is such a really, it's a book that you can apply to your life. There's so much great, like there's all these just tiny little nuggets of brilliance in there. So Baggio, is that how we say this? Hello. Oh, that's me, SJ. Yes. Hi. I think I said hi to Hex on Air. John J. UK, hello and welcome. Wake Dog, welcome. Ninja Chopstick, how is it going? Godfather J6. Blue, fire, fire, fire. Fire! I'm a dork. All right. Let's see. Let's get to some reading. I keep saying that I'm going to have some music. And one day, when I make a point to take the time to do so, I will do that. If you missed it, I was talking at the very beginning of this about how there is this rule or law that I'm hoping I find in the chapter as I'm reading about you think that things are going to take a certain amount of time and then they take much longer. So that's why I was late. That's why Thothschild late. Where, there's so many things that you're like, oh, this will just take a second. No, it takes a minute and 30 seconds, right? And then you're late to your stream. So I'm just gonna go ahead. Let me see. I'm gonna try one more time to find this rule or law. Nope. Well, I'm not finding it. And here's another thing. Be more prepared, SJ. Come on. I like this kind of free-flowing format of live streams. But for something like this where we are deep diving and we are discussing this book, it is probably better for me to make sure that I've got my points outlined. But let us go. Let's see. I'm just going to kind of start in the middle. This chapter struck my fancy. So I'm going to start at, the heading is the negative space of getting things done. And this is really great. I think in summary, he talks about how you got this list, right? You got this list of all these things that you want to do and all these things that you want to accomplish. And it's important to organize them and to make sure that you're prioritizing them. So the negative space of getting things done. If you picked your top 25 things and took off the bottom 20 and avoided them because they might hurt the top 5, you would be using the negative space idea. The result is more work on the stuff you really care about. Depending on how far different your 1 through 25 really were, you might have a top 10 that were almost all the same thing. So there's a little bit of accuracy of scope that is involved. He says, how there's a momentum thing to working out. It's so super timely, talking about time, because Jimrat and Sam are doing a fitness challenge. And I definitely get this in terms of momentum. And it's exciting. Definitely check that challenge out if you guys haven't yet. I've joined, and I know there's people out there that are going to be like, why would you join a fitness challenge? Blah, blah, blah. Like, y'all, fitness isn't like just looking a certain way, right? Like fitness is really about being, to me, it's a holistic thing, right? Like it's not just that I want to look a certain way. I want to feel a certain way. I want to know that I'm strong and fit and that that's not going away. So, kind of touching on longevity again, I don't want to be 60 and frail. Okay. Like I look younger than I am, but like I still know that it's important to make sure that I have physical fitness, right? Anyways, so to continue, he says, how there's a momentum thing to working out. Once you get the ball rolling towards going to the gym, once you're there, it's very easy to just work out. Well, the same thing applies to developing bad habits. If you start becoming lazy or missing a workout, or eating unhealthy food, then it's really easy to keep that ball rolling as well, which is so true. And doesn't it seem easier, to get those bad habits rolling? It sounds funny, and it sucks, but it's true. It's much easier to miss a workout, I think, for some people. And maybe Gym Rat would say the opposite, right? Where for him, when he misses a workout, because that's the point, right? Is that once you've created this habit, it's either something that you're doing and you love it and you're going to keep doing it, or it's something that you're like, I don't, I'm just going to stay in my lazy little, habit thing words. Sorry, y'all. I just had a brain fart. So that is just so true. And really excited again to be joining a group of people doing this fitness challenge, because I think that helps, right? Like when you're not alone, and you feel like you're surrounded and supported by people, it's easier to have a healthy habit. If you're like this, just makes me think of personally, if I'm doing something and I eat a certain way, for example, I fast. It's easy for me. It helps me maintain my body weight. I don't feel like I'm missing out really on anything, and it's just become a habit at this point. My partner does not fast. So it's tough because, whereas we want to enjoy meals as a couple or do things together, that's just one thing that we don't do because I have a totally different eating schedule and eating habits than he does. So, yeah, but it's something that's important to me, and it's a habit that I'm going to continue to do. But sorry, the point of that was it is easier. It'd be totally easier if he fasted too, and we had the same schedule and ate the same stuff. But yeah, it's something and it's to tell you the truth, it's funny because he needs to do the opposite. He has a hard time gaining weight. So for him, it would be the opposite. Like he needs to probably maybe get on like keto, like eating a bunch of, and I mean, I don't know if that's even right because he's not trying to lose weight, but he's trying to build muscle. So anyways, I'm going to not talk about that. I'm going to leave that to Gym Rat and Sam and the guys that know about fitness things. So let us continue. And actually, give me 1 second. I'm just going to let him know that he can join anytime. And if he doesn't, that's all right. Y'all just want to hang out with me anyways, right? Just kidding. Okay. Boop. Okay. So, I will continue reading. It says, thus, as important as it is to show that you should get the ball rolling in the right direction, it's almost as important to make sure that you don't get the ball rolling in the wrong direction. Avoid everything you kind of want to do. And that's great. I really like that advice, because if you're not really passionate about it, if it's not something that you're like on fire for and you feel like it needs to get done, why do it? Like, unless, I mean, I guess that can kind of go both ways, because if I kind of want to work out, but it's good for me, maybe I should. I don't know. Thoughts on that? Just gonna say hello to a few more people here. Hello, Crypto Cashew. Hey, Hex Siren. Thanks for joining. And Crypto Compassion. Much love, fam. Much love, all the fam. Do. There's the music for today. All right. So, okay. So back into it. It says the avoid at all cost, in quotes, avoid at all cost idea states that if you list your top 25 things that you want to do, pick 5 and avoid at all costs the other 20. Your engagement of the 20 ideas will make it more likely you don't achieve those top 5, because your mind is scattered, right, on all these different things you need to do. But if you just compact that, right, it's a lot easier to focus on the things that are higher up on that list. Oh, interesting. So he says SciVivor doesn't agree with this because the 6th idea could actually be on the path of 1 through 5. So that's a good point. However, the fact that you only have space for a couple hobbies and really only have enough time to personally work on a couple things professionally, this is evidenced by another quote attributed to Warren Buffett. The quote is, "The difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything. And that I can give you just in this last stream that Richard did a perfect example. And I noticed this because I'm also a big drum and bass fan. And someone asked him if he goes to drum and bass events, and he said no. He doesn't get out much, and he loves. I mean, y'all, did you see the way he was talking about it and the way he brought up that tune? It was just like dirty. Like, I love drum and bass. Okay, like my boyfriend's a drum and bass DJ. He's an MC. I sing on drum and bass tracks occasionally. Like, I'm a junglist, all right. So to go to see music live, to go see, DJs live and go to these events, it's just like, to me, that's also fam, right? Like that was kind of one of my first fams was finding family through music and through the drum and bass scene. And going to these events and meeting other like-minded people and, dancing and just having a grand old time listening to drum and bass. It's fantastic. It's such a wonderful place to be. And you've seen Richard dance, y'all. You guys have seen like all these memes where he's just getting down, right? Like, he obviously loves that and has a passion for dance and drum and bass. And I love, he talks about dancing throughout SciVivor too, in really cool ways. And he doesn't go to these events because he is, a very successful person. And he's got a lot of other shit to do. And he's, making sure that he's focused on those things, even though that's a passion of his. And even though I'm sure he'd love to go out to these drum and bass events, he knows that that's not where his time and energy should be focused. So super cute. Let's see. I'm going to say hi to Daniel, Polk, and Isis. I think it's Isis. Or 1S. I don't know. How do I say your name? I like it. All right. So let's get back into the text. Let me see, where was I? Okay, so I've just finished that quote by Warren Buffett. Again, I'll read it one more time. The difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything. A different approach to getting things done is called the negative space idea. If you picked your top 25 things and took off the bottom 20 and avoided them because they might hurt the top 5, which is the direct opposite from avoid at all cost idea above, you would be using the negative space idea. The result is more work on the stuff you really care about. Depending on how far different your 1 through 25 ideas were, you might have a top 10 that are almost all the same thing, because they might all be very closely related, right? He says, so there's a little bit of accuracy of scope that is involved. How to use this, and this is the thing I love about SciVivor, is oftentimes, most of the time, he's not just talking about an idea, he's talking about how to apply this idea to your life. Because, and he says several times, thinking about things is one thing, acting on things is where the real work happens. That's where your focus should be, is not just thinking the thing, doing the thing, or doing the thing that's going to get you to the thing. Okay. So here's his application. How to use this. Start your day with what is first on your list and work your way down. Avoid at all costs the following: time sinks and the general wasting of pointless effort that have stolen the most hours of your life. Those hours aren't coming back. Steve Martin also quotes the aesthetic style of focusing on only one thing. Never mind all the other shiny distractions. So many other comics got taken away with. I love Steve Martin. Oh, so that's a cool thing to know. I'll read this next little section, and I think our guest is on his way. So that's exciting. Yay. But let me read this next section while we're waiting. Getting stuff done. You can skip motivational stuff by just getting your significance from the hard stuff you're doing. The reason it's easier to argue with people on the internet than it is to write a book. I love it because it's just like you hear Richard, right? And then you can kind of like, it's like you feel his pain, or like I just get so much of a understanding about him through his writing. It cracks me up. So, because he argues with trolls on the internet all day long. Like, total side tangent I'm going to take you on. Go look at his Reddit. If you guys have never seen Richard Hart's Reddit account, Oh my goodness. I don't use Reddit too often. I've had it for a long, long time. I pop in there every now and then, but it's his the comments on his stuff, and I only read a few of them. Only went over a few of his most recent posts on Reddit, and they're like watch, he's posting in a lot of these watch forums for his Rolexes, and it's miserable. I don't know why he does it. I don't get why he subjects himself to. I mean, I know he talked about it. He says that he does it so because that's where that's where the people who he's trying to onboard really, in his way are. They're the ones that got them, that have the money. They have this, these excess funds. If you're spending money on a fucking Rolex, you can put money into Hex. I think that's his train of thought, is that if you can spend this money on this, stuff, $2,000 or $20,000 cheeseburger bag, whatever it was, he's making this point that people who buy this stuff, they've got the money to put into the Hex ecosystem. So yes. Real quick, gonna say what's up again to Redbird. Thank you so much. And Tintop, welcome. And Thothschild, almost, friend. It's all good. It is all good. We have time. We have time. So do not worry. All right. Okay, so anyways, I digress. I went off on a tangent because he says this. The reason it's easier to argue with people on the internet than it is to write a book is because you get a feeling of winning nearly instantly when you crush trolls on the internet, but you don't really get any positive significant feedback in a reasonable time frame on text that you write for a book. And personally, I feel like maybe that's in part why I wouldn't say SciVive has gone to the wayside, but I think that because it is a monstrous document, and there are a lot of things that need to be rearranged, or there's things that are repeated that need to get cleaned up. And I think he avoided my question on purpose because he says he reads all the questions during his live streams, right? And I'm sure he does. And I asked a few times, I said, hey, Richard, is there anything in your worldview that's changed enough that would mean that a piece of SciVive would need to be edited, or that something would need to be changed in the book? And he didn't answer. And I think that that's because it's a yes. I do think that since he's written this, he has had changes happen that have affected his worldview. Maybe not extreme. They may not be things that are huge or like, very vital to his beliefs. But I do think that there are things that he wouldn't necessarily write now that he did then. And for example, I am working on Fix the World right now. I'm going to do that first before I go back into SciVive. And Fix the World is, at least by my count, it's, I want to say, almost 200 pages. There are parts of SciVive in Fix the World, so that was interesting. I'm not sure if that's something that he wants to keep, if he wants to keep those sections in Fix the World, so that he's reiterating, like maybe they're important enough that he feels that they need to be in both books. But, ooh, brain farts. Where was I going with that? Fix the World. Fixing the book. Fixing the World. Anyways, I'm editing Fix the World so that I can read it. And Bitcoin, that's what it was. There's a whole section in Fix the World. And if you guys don't know about that or haven't seen it yet, if you go to t.me/SciVive, and then you go to, sorry, I'm gonna try, my tea is too hot to drink still. If you go into where you can see the files for SciVive, if you guys know how to navigate to that within the Telegram channel, there's an option where you can just search within the files section and just type fix, and Fix the World will come up. So it's not pinned, but you can find the text of Fix the World in the SciVive Telegram. Drink water, y'all. Hey, speaking of SciViving, H2O. This stuff has really, I mean, we're made of it, right? I don't know what happened in my life or where the switch came from, but I grew up not drinking water. I grew up, it was the last thing I would, sorry, it's just nice. Hold on. Tuned in just in time to watch me drink some H2O, y'all. I grew up drinking soda. I drank milk. I drank juice. I drank everything but water. I think until I left the house. And I feel really fortunate that I gravitated to water. I don't know how it happened or when that switch occurred. I want to say, I mean, it's probably been like 15, 20 years, but yeah, water is great. It's the first thing I drink when I wake up in the morning. I try to drink water before I go to bed. I drink tea all day. It helps me with my, and I'll get a little personal right now. I don't think I've ever had an eating disorder, but there have been times in my life where I notice that I'm eating out of boredom. I'm eating out of stress. And it's never junk. Like, don't get me, I don't eat Doritos. I'm not a chip person. I don't eat junk food in general. But to me, it doesn't matter what it is. It's not the fact that maybe, I'm stuffing like broccoli down my face. It's the fact that I'm doing it when I'm not hungry. I'm doing it because I'm stressed out and I can't figure out where to direct that energy. And drinking water and drinking tea, especially, have both really helped me. And fasting, doing intermittent fasting. Because now, instead of it being like 7, 8 o'clock at night and I'm like, just wandering around doing whatever. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I should eat something. No, I shouldn't. I don't need to. I'm about to go to sleep. I go to bed early. So I'm like a granny. But I don't need to eat at that point in time. I need to drink water or drink some tea. And fasting has helped me with that a lot. So talking about fitness a little bit today and survival, I'm excited again for the Gym Rat Crypto challenge, because that's the one, that's fitness in terms of physical fitness is the one thing that I've struggled with the most in life. I don't like going to the gym. I don't like running. I don't like, I don't know, most things that involve physical fitness. Like, it's just not a thing. I love to go walks. I love to go walks. I love to go walks. I love to go walking. I love to go on walks. I love walks on the beach. I love walks in the jungle. I love bike riding as well. And it's neat because I think those are the things that Richard also is a fan of, and talks about a little bit in SciVivor at some point. But let me just make sure again. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So that was just a little sidetrack about me and my life and like my goals, I guess, within the next few months and the next years, really, if we're thinking about wanting to live longer, and there's a point, I think I talked about it last stream, where Richard talks about starting at your best base, right? Like, instead of like having having a hangover and like having to wake up that next day and you're just like struggling, right? Like, struggle bus, get off the struggle bus and give every day your best so that you wake up every morning refreshed and like ready to kick ass. I'm gonna look over these. Yeah, water is the best. Yes, it is. My body made that switch. That's a cool point, Donnell. Like, I agree. I don't know what it was, but my body knew that it needed water and not soda or juice. And y'all, I mean, if you're struggling with that kind of stuff, there are little things you can get to flavor your water. In fact, I was just reading on here, like, add a little lemon, add a little bit of lemon to your water. You can add ginger to your water. There's if it's really tough for you because you need that flavor, tea, get herbal tea, because that's not, caffeinated tea may dehydrate you a little bit. But if you're drinking herbal tea, that gives flavor to your water. And I believe, I'm not 100% sure on this, no financial or fitness advice from me, but I believe that it would not dehydrate you because it's not caffeinated. It's just giving your water that extra flavor. I could be wrong though. Yes. All right, so I'm going to get back to reading over here. I'm just going to double check again. All right. Okay, so I just finished talking about Richard saying that it's easier to crush trolls on the internet than it is to get feedback on a book. And then he says, thus, when you want to get things done, you can either work building motivation, or you can work doing the actual hard things that you'd hoped that the motivation would get you to want to do. You make it easier to do the hard stuff when you create a short-term reward where your psyche feels good doing the hard stuff because you feel important having done it. If you can manage this without involving third parties, that's even better. Okay. And the next section is focus. Distractions eat time and create problems. Most books are written by people in their 30s because if you're 20, you're too inexperienced to know anything to write about. If you're 40, you may not care to write about it anymore. It's like, oh no, is that what happened? Did Richard turn 40 and all of a sudden he's like not into doing sci-fi anymore? Who knows? All right, so if you only have a couple of good ideas, it's a lot easier to get started and feel good about what you're doing than if you have tons of good ideas, because again, then you're so scattered. Knowing too much or being too old or being too smart can all get in the way of being productive. Possessing any of those qualities makes it harder for you to focus on a single thing until completion, because there's more and more side interests and things that get in the way, like a house or family or hobbies or your yacht. There's no better way to start your day than by growing your strength and willpower. The feeling of accomplishment makes all the tasks of the day so much easier. Very, very true. And I am going to highlight, we were just talking about water, but yes, cucumber, rosemary, and lemon infused water. Yogi, I love yogi teas. That stuff is magic and wonderful. And they always, I think it's yogi, they always have these like super cute little sayings on the back of their tea tabs. So yes, yes, yes. Water infusion crew, what up? Okay, hey, I gotta blow my nose real quick. I'm just gonna mute the microphone and step over here. Oh wait, oh, thank you. No boogers on my nose. Let's hope not. All right. Okay, thanks everyone. I appreciate you sticking with me. All right. Cool. Yeah, so then I'm just going to kind of continue on reading these. Oh, or am I? Dun dun dun. There's a guest. What is this space? What does this know? Can you hear me? Yeah? Say something. Hold on. I can't hear him though. Here, try again. Let me try. I'm going to try adding you to the stream real quick. And let's see.
Do that.
Oh, there it is. Yes. A wild Thothschild appears.
Hi,
Yay.
SJ.
Hello, Thothschild. Welcome. Time, huh? How does time get away from us?
This is too uncanny that you would choose this topic here. I mean, you know, I'm not going to even be able to come into this one like I can come into 90% of the things that I will undertake as a kick-ass juggernaut or an intimidating kind of expert brain god man. And this one, I'm functionally retarded. Like I'm really struggling bad and I am losing with time.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I know that it has to do with setting reasonable expectations, you know, of myself. And I don't want to get caught up in the woe is me bullshit. You know what I mean? Because that would be really easy. If I catch myself too often saying he's the guy who's divorced, who has dual custody of the 4 kids, and he has 3 jobs. 2 of them are his own businesses, and he swings a hammer and he writes, but he also volunteers. And, you know, it's just like, shut the fuck up already. Like, I don't want, other than the love of my children, I don't want any of that shit to define me. So, I read a really rough ass version, right, of SciVivor when I found Richard. And that was a particularly interesting time, because that was like as the apex of the divorce was becoming imminent, and I was a ship adrift at sea, and I was searching. I had already read so many spiritual and religious texts, and I had started going through the self-help motions. And when I found Richard, you know, it still brings a smile to my face, because there was this no bullshit resonance with the man. So I found SciVivor after he brought it up on a stream. Now, mind you, a lot of you folks know Richard as Richard now. You know, imagine Richard like 75 pounds heavier, kind of greasy looking, wearing like a red velvet suit with hair down to about here. You know, but still a striking, awesome, powerful, life-changing personality. I digress. You inspired me by your undertaking, because when I read that rough first one, I just like SJ, I just like kind of like was speed reading it, and I don't think I allowed it to have the potency that it deserves. Okay.
I heard it was very Frankenstein-y. It was hard to digest.
That's probably why that's probably why I was like rushing to get through it. But then again, you know, like I said, life was in total upheaval. So time, listening to you narrate this has been really cool. And I know that you get the same, you know, lane of compliments all the time, but I just want to, you know, testify that you do have an excellent pace. Your pace is just so good. I love your pace. I love your breathing. Your tone is dead balls on. I just love it. You really do have a gift with what you're doing. I think you're the right person for the job here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I'm so glad that I am. You know what I mean?
Well, you look like a dumbass if you were.
You know, I had never undertaken anything like this before. I've done acting in the past, like screen acting and commercials and stuff like that, but audio wasn't really on my radar. But like I say to people, it was a selfish endeavor. I love audiobooks, and I just couldn't listen to the robot voice, and I was like,
I heard this much of that.
Someone needs this. Mm-hmm.
Hey, SJ, isn't that Hexagon though? Like, it just draws it out of us.
Yeah, it sure does. And you know, I was talking with the ladies. We did this stream on the Vibra Finance channel. It's posted to my channel as well, but I
didn't watch it. I just saw all the pretty smart ladies on the different screens, but I didn't watch it. And I said, "Ooh, this is new."
Yeah, it's good stuff. But lost my train of thought.
Wait a minute.
Hexagon and doing the things that we love to do. It was timing. I was referring to how a lot of the women were talking about the fact that the timing of when they found Hex was just so magical. Like I include myself in that camp, because had it happened at any other time in my life, like had it happened maybe 6 months prior or 6 months later, I would not have had the financial capital that I had at that exact time to put into Hex. And at the very same time, Pulse Chain Sack had just started. Like, how did I get so lucky as to have at that moment, you know, what I needed to have, and you know where it needed to go? Just it is a magical thing. I don't know if you got to see do you know who Cosmic Cowboy is?
You and I were at Nagabo's party. Remember?
That's
I was
right.
asking,
Yes.
Who is the silver Teletubby?
Yes. Silver Teletubby. Oh, I love him so much.
He was at one of my best conversations of the night.
Yes,
I don't
I
give a
would
fuck
not.
what anybody said. People
Yep.
were intimidated by his appearance. I'm like, fuck off, man. I had a great conversation with that guy.
So he did this whole awesome presentation at the conference about hex in nature and hexagons and how it's all like related. And
did he really? Did you see my
yes,
official pulsification interview?
I don't know.
I was on with Hex Luthor,
Okay.
and I read the email that I wrote to onboard people a year ago. I wrote an email. There were 8 of the emails. I hate to go through this again for the people who have heard it a dozen times, but I was so struck by this. And it was on a personal level as well as a holistic macro kind of global level. I said, I have to give the Sermon on the Mount. Everybody I peripherally care about needs to know about this, because I want to say, I want to be the waters that raise all the ships. I want to be the tide that raises all ships. So I wrote 8 emails. Email 4, I blew the esotericism off the doors, and I read 60-70% of that email. I left out some of the juiciest stuff because I didn't want to come out. I was already coming out of the gate talking about like law and meanings of these really, really obtuse, rarefied words. And after I told people about something called insinuare, okay, which is a legal maneuver that the Vatican uses to own you and I started going into that, and I was like, dude, you're just like pulling out all the fucking stops. Like, you got to roll it back. So I left a lot of gems out. But anyway, that's a long way around the barn to explain that whatever he did at Nagas, and I'm not claiming first mover, okay? Hexagons are eternal. The fact that a hexagon is a polygon that can most efficiently tessellate any plane, like I said in the part that I read, that's why Hollywood knows some shit. They always know some shit. They're in secret societies. They're being fed the proper information. There's a reason Black Panther's armor is what? When he fucking presses a little button, what perfectly encapsulates his form? Hexagons, right? So I was going into some of the math, the Tesla 369, I was going into the hex on Saturn. I was going into every little thing. So that's wild anyway, that you're telling me that that's what the man spoke on, because he and I talked for 45 minutes at Naga's party and didn't know that we had that in common, that awareness in common. That's
absolutely
wild. That's
wild.
I
kind of want to see if I can find it, actually.
Holy shit. Why didn't anybody tell me about that?
They might have thought that you had seen it, but
yeah,
I think it's going to be on Matty Allen's channel at some point. I'm pretty sure he has all of the Hex conference stuff posted up on there. Okay. So yeah, eventually I'll find it and I'll actually I'll share that out.
Yeah, that would be dope. I'd like to see where he and I had crossover in our discoveries. Maybe we could even bounce some ideas off each other privately. Oh God, there's so much to talk about. The one thing I wanted to say to you when you were talking about how you came in and how you found this and just kind of the whole flavor and the mode at the time, I say a lot that being in Hexaco is a persistent experience of serendipitous synchronicities. I cannot adequately, if I have any gifts with articulation, I cannot adequately find words to properly describe it. All I know, they say, I remember last year there were certain streamers, there's no divisions in Hex, we're all unified. Well, look, first off, bullshit. Okay, there's mad divisions, and guess what else? Divisions and disagreements are natural.
Yep,
when
it's going to happen. Any family.
Stop having those, then you have become the cult that all these dumbasses accuse you of. Right. So I've noticed in Hexaco, there's different lanes, there's different modes, there's even more than two, there's more than 2, but I can distill it, okay, down to those of us who are experiencing this on a spiritual level and those who have strictly made a financial investment in an asset of a cryptocurrency. Fair?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it can go as deep as you allow or want it to, I think. You know, some people are going to be, like you're saying, on that kind of surfacey, this is a financial investment. And that's what drew me first, right? Was I was interested in, okay, I've got money right now. I have some capital. Where am I going to put it?
Yeah.
How am I going to do this? And then I just kept wanting to know. And I think that that's the difference, is that it's a personal, almost spiritual, where are you at kind of thing. Because I could have just put the money in and been like, okay, cool, I did this and I'm done with it and I'm not going to think about it anymore. But I knew that I didn't want to do that. I knew that I wanted to be sure, because that was one big thing, is anyone who first comes into this community, especially if you've not done crypto in the past, as I hadn't.
Oh, really?
There's you know, you hear about the scams and you hear about, you know, you see these articles that are bullshit, that are I mean, I think that now, obviously, like, that are you know, painting Richard in such a terrible light and saying that he's a scammer and this and that, he's Ponzi, what the fuck ever, you know. I needed to know.
It is.
I went and took a deep dive, right? That's the
DYOR.
DYOR.
You just drilled down on it.
Yeah.
Because those people who can't stand fucking Richard, or even Hexagons who own the asset, but, you know, Richard, they could take him or leave him, you know, whoosh. Okay. Because for me, it's inextricably fucking connected. I could not look at that man, hear him talk. I'm sorry. Okay. I don't give a fuck. I've had second sight all my life. I was weird. It was your gift is your bane. I was tortured by it and I was gifted with it. And when I looked at him, I'm resonating with that man. Sorry, on a fucking spiritual level. That's already there. It's holistic. So I can't pull myself away from it and pretend to be like you. Okay. That's just how you're not you, SJ, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Generally. So I'm already seeing him in that light. These other guys, I mean, I had a really personal experience at the outset, and I have to be careful here. There are people who are still in the community, but let's just say, you know, I might have been, I don't know whether I was headhunted or selected as somebody they needed to keep an eye on, but I was, you know, in a group, and there was a very clear division in that group. The guys who can see the guys who feel the way I feel, or if they don't feel the way I feel, they can at least see where I'm coming from and give it some validity. The other half, you know, it broke my heart because my on board, who was a blood relative, went over to the other side. Look at that weird motherfucker. That guy's fucking crazy. He talks too much. He says big words. What's that fruity shit he's talking? You know, and it was like, I'm fucking 50 years old, guys. Like, fucking eat my cock. I do not have time for this shit. So that was a relationship that didn't end too magnificently. And there's at least one relative I know I will never speak to again for as long as I live. But, you know, it was just a reminder. I think part of it was kind of traumatic too, because when you're a weird one, like we might be, it takes you back maybe to recess in 4th grade or something. Right. And you're like, fuck, man, are you kidding? Is this shit like, are these grown-ups and this shit's happening again?
Yeah.
So, woe is me. I don't fucking care anymore. That's one of the most liberating things about growing older. I seriously used to care so much in my 20s and my 30s. And I mean, I swear each thing that happens, I'm less and less married to this dimension, to this world, and to satisfying its inhabitants, which you know as well as I do, run the gamut of evolutionary enlightenment, you know.
Absolutely.
There's people who are way, way, way above me, saints, bodhisattvas walking the planet. And then there's just a lot of buck-toothed, mulleted, sister fucking retards as well. So
this is a non-family friendly Sunday show, by the way.
I should have inquired. I'm a
I tried, like, the first week, I tried making it more family friendly, but
you got to warn guys like me.
The second, Max and it's not that the stream with Max was not family friendly, but this isn't a family friendly show. I mean, like, we're not going to talk about just like basic level shit here. And like, and someone asked me to kind of like do a clean reading of it. But you know what? These are Richard's words. In fact, yeah. And I know that he has cleaned up his language a lot.
So much. I'm almost uncomfortable with it. But good for him. Good for him.
Right, because I mean, it is. I do think that it's good for his appearance, right, moving forward. And when I read SciVive, you hear him. It's like you hear it in his voice. So as I'm going along editing these things, there are parts of me. There are parts that I may change his wording on, depending on, like. But if it's his words, you know what I mean? If it's like you hear his voice saying this sentence, I'm not going to take the bad words out. Like it's just too much. It's too much of him to do that, like I don't want to butcher it in that way. So anyways,
my first
warning, not family friendly.
Well, first off, I do want to apologize, and I should have cleared that up with you at the beginning.
I knew, but they might not have. Sorry, y'all.
The way that Richard expressed himself, my first 4 years of knowing who he was, if I was to wake up from a deep sleep and think of Richard Hart, I would imagine him telling somebody who really needed to F off to F off. Like, that was just my association with Richard. Yep. And as an alpha male in my own right, I suppose, I'd be like, yeah, it was great. And I don't care how mainstream or acceptable, the man gets, he's still always going to be that guy who told the people who needed to be told certain things, what they needed to be told. So
yeah,
bless
no bullshit. And that's why I think that's why a lot of the people that do love him, because there's no filter. Like, he is quintessentially himself. And why wouldn't you be? Why shouldn't you be? Why would he? Why hide behind a farce that's not really you? Like,
why make that much money?
In the long run.
Why make that much money if you're not just gonna do and say whatever the fuck you need to, right? I mean,
yeah, 100%.
So anyway, but at the same time, I'm Libran, and you seem like you can see all sides, which is really a wonderful quality for us to have. I can see the value in speaking with measure. I can see the value in knowing your audience. I can see, all that stuff. I see it all in that way. So if any ears started bleeding after I said, after I said, buck-toothed, mulleted, sister fucking retard, I apologize.
Thanks for clarifying that.
No, I cannot believe this shit.
Real quick, I'm going to say what's up to some more chatters. Hello.
I got to deal with the situation here. Some people who know me from Whale's show and maybe a couple others will know that I have an arch enemy who lives in the walls of my house. Ooh. And he shows up. Jesus, oh my God. I'm going to deal with this, okay? I got to, he's not cute.
And badger.
He's not nice. Yeah, Blood Honey Badger is his name. Now he's got a partner named, Jesus God, stop. He's got a partner named Bumpy Knuckles. Freddy the Fox, Bumpy Knuckles, who's around here somewhere. So I have to be really careful. SJ, you tend to your chat. Hey, who's got the knife?
Y'all, there's puppets. But this is not a family-friendly show.
You think they're puppets. You think they're puppets. Everybody thinks they're puppets. Hi, Craig Wadding, Gen Hex. Puppets. Yeah.
Oh, God. Well, I'm going to say what's up real quick. Hello. I can't. Oh, my gosh. Max, I don't know if I said your name, but I saw you come on in. Max, Donnell Victor, Chris, Side Effects. Come fix my van. Flat Earth Underground, good to see you. Hexagon Tattooer, welcome. I need a cover up. Hexagon Tattooer. I got some work that needs to get done, so maybe we could have a little chat. I'm curious where you're located. Bran, thanks for hanging out. See Blue here again. Awesome, y'all. Oh my goodness. There's badgers about, y'all. Be aware. Be aware. I still can't find that section that I was talking about where, you know, and it very well could be in a different section of the book, because while whoever edited the book thus far did a great job, I'm sure. Like I said, I have not seen the original version. I don't know how Frankenstein it was before, but there are definitely parts of sections that probably should be within other sections. So this part that I'm thinking about, where he talks about how much things try that again. How things take more time than you think they're going to. It might be in a different chapter. That's why I'm not finding it. But I guess while we're waiting for the honey badger situation to be under control, I'm going to read another little section. Let's see. Oh, this is good. I'm going to read this real quick, Thoth, while we're oh, okay. All right, so here's a little section that I like this one a lot, especially. It says, combine what you need to do with what you want to do. If you want an excuse to write your book, perhaps try out the new keyboard you've bought, or a new key layout, or new hotkeys, perhaps a custom programmed keyboard layer. The trick here is that if you get used to testing your new setup while you're doing something productive, you'll get more progress in both the productive thing, in this case, book writing, and an other experimenting for fun thing. You can see this example in other places, like trying your new headphones out on a jog, or testing your new running shoes whilst running. This is so pertinent to my life right now, because just before we were on this stream, I was thinking to myself, oh, I got a new microphone and I have this other camera. I should test out this new setup, but time got away from me. So I didn't. Maybe had I read this and remembered, and then thought to myself, oh yeah, let me remember that everything's going to take 10 times longer than I think it's going to take, I could have had that setup done, but I didn't. So let's, there's just a couple more paragraphs. It says, now, where is the pitfall here? Well, if you get used to testing the new cool things in the wrong, useless place, you will get more addicted to doing the wrong thing, and it will leech away the time you would have had to do those things that you really know you should be doing. Make your fulfillment fun. Picking some cool or fun things around what it is you know you should be doing is great, if and only if you can make sure you use and have fun with the cool things only when you're doing the productive thing that you're trying to make more fun, to produce a good habit. Don't spend 100 hours doing typing tests of random words fed to you. Do spend 100 hours expressing yourself using your own words. Only one of the two has lasting value. And that's the last little part. It says, if you're lucky, the two things you're playing with might even amplify each other. And I love this. For instance, if you wanted to practice your singing and you wanted to learn a new language, great. Now you can practice singing a song in a new language, which I have done before. And that's such a great sentiment. Like, if you're going to do something, do a couple things and make sure that they're amplifying one another. So I really love that. And real quick, just to say hi to Chaotic Creations.
Yeah,
Johnny.
What up,
Thanks
Johnny?
for coming in. And David James. Oh, I think I might have said what's up already. But why not again, David James? Hi. Welcome.
Can I give a couple shouts?
Absolutely, please do.
My man. Probably the only 20-something person. Well, now I could be lying. I guess Hexastani Dylan I would consider taking an order from, maybe, because he's smarter than I am in a couple ways. But Balliot Brand is the only 20-something on planet Earth I think I would probably listen to. Like, if we were in a French together or in a combat situation, I actually would accept him as my commanding officer. And I can't say that about any fucking 20-somethings. And my girl 1S, she is
1S. I was curious, like, what is it? Is that referencing ISIS at all,
now
or is it just
see,
1S?
this is wild. This is fucking wild that you bring this up, SJ, because I take the appellative. Now, when I was a gigging DJ for a decade, a hip hop scratch DJ. I mean, all I did was play poker, fucking sell weed, and scratch, and play guitar. And I was Jolah, Jolah. Okay, now I'm doxing the shit out of myself because I was a bad boy then too. So I was Jolah, Jolah for a very long time, and then I took on like, it just dawned on me one day when I was probably reading like, God only knows, Jim Mars or David Icke or something. I was like, Rothschild, Thothschild. So I was like Joel Thothschild. And then I start, having kids and like getting sober and being a responsible adult. And it's like all these little nicknames and shit went away, entirely. But now that I'm in this community, it's back, and it's back with a vengeance. But I told this story on Luther's show, and this is so mind blowing. All right, there's the two people who I care extremely deeply in my life that ended up playing a part in one of these serendipitous synchronicities. The first was my son. He's my third born. He's my second born son. We'll call him Lucky. He comes. This is so weird. He comes to me last Halloween, about 3 weeks before Halloween, and he goes, "Hey, daddy. Guess." And now, mind you, he doesn't know what my, crypto name or my hexagon name is. And if he did hear it, he didn't add the 1 and 1 and make that the character from any of Dad's books or Hermes Trismegistus or from the Pantheon. You know what I'm saying? He goes, "What are you going to be, son?" He goes, "Anubis." What? Fucking what?
That's badass.
I couldn't believe it. Like, what 7-year-old kid wants to be the Egyptian god of the dead? Okay,
I love it. Your kid.
Oh my God! Right. Thank you. And then my beloved, I almost said her real name. Don't want to do that. She's just playing around, and she's just trying to figure out something that sort of fits some aspect of her life. And she goes 1S, and like a week later, I looked at it and I said, "Do you realize that that's ISIS is?"
Yeah.
I was like, "What the hell is going on here?" So
that's cool. Yeah, I just automatically like made that connection for some reason. Very cool.
Yeah, she said that was not intentional. She was just trying to be. She wasn't even thinking that way. She said she was just 1S.
Neato.
Yeah, and then okay, so we got Bran. I saw 1S. Johnny Chaos. Donnell Victor, man. Donnell, what up, brother? My fellow P-dubber. You're one of my fellow P-dubbers. There's a bunch of P-dubbers in here. The powwow. And then Finn Bear.
Finn Bear. I don't know if I said what's up to you. I'm sorry if I didn't, man.
Finn Bear. I'm just kidding. I love Finn Bear. I love him. He's one of my favorites. He said, what did he say up there? He said, Thothschild is not a vegan. He says, "I bet money on it." Guess what, Finn? You win. Now, here's the funny thing. My recently deceased mother, God bless her soul, died young, but she raised my brother and my sister and I vegetarian. And I was the only motherfucking vegetarian kid growing up, So Finn wins. Finn win. Finn. Win.
So you were a vegetarian, but not anymore.
I was, and I was not a vegan because when we were growing up, when I was a boy in the 70s, we called ourselves lacto-ovo vegetarians.
I was an ovo-lacto vegetarian for many years.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nowadays they have like different names for everything, but
Yeah.
you know, all I remember from that period of time is that dad was a farm boy who had a fucking hard life. And it was funny because he was like, I got the best of country and city like my whole life, because he was like a country boy who taught at a like inner city hard ass like ghetto school. So I learned how to break dance when I was like 9 years old because I go to the after school program with my dad. And I'm just like,
Nice.
all things black culture was just like,
Mm.
oh my God, that's so awesome. But then I was lucky enough to have a dad who would like take us on hikes and take us trout fishing. So it was like a rarefied thing. But anyway, I digress. Dad grew up on a slaughter, like there was a slaughterhouse.
Mhm.
And dad was just like, I don't think I want my kids eating this shit. And my mom was like, bingo, ding, 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 we're vegetarians.
Yeah.
So then time passes. Now, if you were to see my brother now, there's probably not too much that breathes or crawls or swims that my brother won't eat right now. My sister is a nutritionist, so she's a lot smarter about everything that she eats. But we were just like, I think it was at Thanksgiving, you know, and we were just like, we're having salmon this Thanksgiving. We were like, what'd she say? What's salmon? You know, like it was wild. From there, my brother was like probably eating fucking bacon and sausage within 3 years. I that's one thing I will never touch. I will never allow my children to touch. No, we do not eat animals that eat their own fecal matter. I'm sorry. And if somebody out there likes pork, enjoy your animal that eats fecal matter. I don't
That's
know what
crazy.
to
That's
tell you.
also the only meat that I don't I don't eat. It's pork. And
I'm sorry, go
I
ahead.
don't know. No, it's fine. I don't necessarily I didn't even know that.
Mhm.
Like it's just, to me it just seems like, I think maybe because okay, I was a vegan for a while.
Mhm.
I've run the gamut on all that. I've been
Yeah.
vegetarian, I've been vegan, I've been pescatarian.
Pescatarian. That's what my daughter is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at this point, what I try to do is I feel like I try to be a consciousitarian. I would prefer, if I'm going to eat meat, I would prefer that it is something that I either killed myself,
Fucking right.
or I know who killed it and I know where it came from.
That's where I'm
It's
going to
not
end up
easy to
someday.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult, but and I don't always do that. But if it was in my perfect world, that's where I would be. Like,
Yeah.
and yeah, I don't know. I don't do pig. I don't like chicken. I don't like the taste of chicken in most dishes and stuff. So I actually tend to eat more, like, I like elk, venison,
Right.
yeah,
I've had a
like
lot
the,
of
the,
venison.
the heartier meats, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. There's some things that I just can't fuck with. Like I've had bear before and I was like, oh God.
I've had kangaroo.
Really?
Tastes
Wow.
like steak. Yeah,
You are an exotic
I
lady.
was somewhere in Europe. Yeah, it was at a buffet, and there was kangaroo. I was like, I gotta try it. I'm one of those people that I'll kind of try everything once. And I just saw this. I'm about that locavore. If
Local for yeah.
the less steps that your food takes to get to your table, to me, the better, right? For farm, I've been an organic gardener for many years. I'm not right now
You
because
and
I'm
I.
moving.
This is another thing I wanted to
Yep.
talk to you about. See, I didn't. This is so crazy because I had notes leading up to this, and there are no notes in front of me
No,
during
we're
this
off
whole thing.
script.
You know. Um, but when you were talking about how you're permaculture, guess what?
Mhm.
I've been a biodynamic gardener for like fucking 10 years. I've grown like 15
Yes.
gardens, but I've been doing biodynamic, which was, Rudolf Steiner, who also invented Weleda Cosmetics and Waldorf schools. One of my heroes is Rudolf Steiner, so that biodynamic stuff is just, I mean, I saw the effects. The first time I grew a gardening on the cycles of the planets,
Yeah.
the shit was bigger, the shit tasted better, it
Yep.
avoided disease more efficiently. And this was all, obviously organic without the chemicals and all the bull.
Hmm.
I said, hey man, I don't, if people aren't comfortable with the term, that's fine. I, on the other hand, will invoke the term all the time. And this relates back earlier to what I said about, oh yeah, I don't give a fuck about anything anymore. So to me, God made it all perfect. It's built in. Now, if you want to say the universe, if you want to say intelligence, if you want to say creation, do whatever floats your boat. But the fact of the matter is we humans have really gone out of our way to muck shit up and overcomplicate things. We really have. It's already in the pudding, folks. It's already there.
Yeah, and it's that knowledge to me is such ancient wisdom. I mean, that's like the Farmer's Almanac is based off of gardening by the moon and the sun because it makes sense because of the way the moon pulls on the water and the tides, and that affects our soil as well.
Absolutely. It's all bioelectromagnetism. That's all kind of everything is really. So
Is time that though? What is time?
What is time? I wish I could figure it out. So SJ, back to time. I'm going to do a deep dive where and this is the speeds. You might be like me. The speeds that I read are germane to my command of the language and articulation, as well as inborn lucky, hit the jackpot intelligence. I can speed the fuck read through something. But if I am not only really wanting to comprehend what the author's delivering, but I want to soak it up into myself, I can literally do a page a day sometimes because I'm going to read and reread and reread. And then I'm going to go research a sentence, yeah.
Have you seen that one where the kid is doing this?
I don't know, but it looks like ablution. You're performing ablution. Kid in the
classroom, and he's got a book in front of him, and he turns the page, and he goes like this.
Oh.
And then he turns another page, and he goes like this.
That's awesome.
Like soaking it up. I'm like, yes, I've been doing it wrong my whole life. This kid knows the secret.
Well, what do I, where are they at? Let me grab one here. I see. This is where I was going wrong. I was thinking that, oh, look at this. I'm going to grab a Curious George book that my son put there. I was thinking you could do osmosis. Exactly. Like this and it would come in there.
Exactly.
Come on, knowledge.
Just sleep with a book under your pillow.
Yeah. SJ, it's like this, right? I understand clearly now the way it passes and how opportunities can come and they can go, and love can come and it can go, and connection comes and goes. And then I'm not trying to be macabre, guys. You just have to understand what forms the brain or the man. There was nobody in my entire life more important to me than my mother. She was my alpha and my omega, and for a time it was only her and I. So y'all need to fucking think about it and face it, okay? To see her go from being the most vibrant thing I'd ever experienced in my life to being skin and bones, and me having to carry her and wipe her ass, and seeing her turn into nothing. Buy a fast car and find a cliff, guys. Otherwise, guess what? That's where you're headed. It's where most of us are headed. I know you have grandiose ideas. A lot of people do. We're all going to go out like rock stars, aren't we? Yeah. Oh, if it ever gets that bad, just put a bullet in my head. Yeah. Guess what? You don't do it, and nobody does it for you. And you end up withering into dust and dying very slowly and painfully. Okay. So I say hoorah, because to me, that's nothing up against infinity. I'm cool with that, but to lose my mom, that was just like, fuck, dog. Like, this shit is no joke. Like, I've been shot at with guns. I've had bullets going over my head in Philly. Like, but nothing. I might have my life flash before my eyes. Nothing was like that, man. Seeing that deathless, eternal, beautiful woman, time said, Karen, you're done. You're done, Karen. And you know what? So elegant and so spiritual and so at peace. Do you know that at the end, after fighting tooth and nail, she looked at me and she said, mission's accomplished. I think I'm done with this one. All right. I was like, really? She said, yeah. She said, I'll catch you later. I said, yeah, you're right. I'll probably see you soon. She said, please tell me not too soon. I said, Mom, 50 years might be soon.
Yeah, because
So
what is
I,
time
yeah,
after that veil?
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Well, I don't know. It's not like, and please, folks, please don't think that I'm sitting here talking to you like I'm the only person who ever lost anybody. I know there's folks listening who also lost the most important person in their life, maybe a couple times even. We're humans, right? We're here in this dimension and we're going to suffer loss or we're going to get lost. That's pretty much how it goes. But the thing I'm struggling with, SJ, is like, I feel like I have this desire combined with this opportunity here. And for all my focus, and resources, and gifts, and willpower, and strength, and hunger, I can't break this matrix. Like, I am, and that's why I'm so thankful to be asked to be on here with you today. Like, it's fucking me up. I wanted to start a show, and then 5 or 7 of the Hexagons I love the most said, yo, you need to start a show. And then people were like, yeah, he's going to start a show. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to start a show. He's starting a show 3 months ago, 2 months ago, a week ago. And then here I am. And I'm like, I couldn't even make it to Luther's stream on time because this happened with one of my many jobs. And then I couldn't even make it to your stream on time. And these are one-offs. How would I do with like a weekly?
Right.
So this is why I'm interested to hear you and the audience talk about time, because we never stop learning, and I got a lot more learning to do. But I do want to revisit Richard and do that page a day thing, like really dig in, because Richard he's a fucking man on a lot of things. Now, when I first read SciVivor, it was like the two things. I was like, this motherfucker is not saying anything that hasn't been said in other wisdom schools or mystery schools or esoteric paths, or you know what I mean? But then
Right.
from another angle, I was like, God damn, nobody's ever said it like this. And I had a really potent, like salient thought, like, I don't think anybody ever addressed the modern technological era, the paradigm, the zeitgeist, whatever you want to call it, the way that Richard Hart really did, the way he addressed it. And for my part, I'm really looking forward to not only you continuing your work on this and the other book, Fix the World. And I know he's busy as hell making all this amazing shit. And brother, thank you for everything. You changed my life. We're ready for that wallet.
Yes.
we're ready for that fiat on ramp, off ramp, and exchange and shit. And I know you're already working your fucking dick off. So it would be hard to ask anything else of you. But in concluding this thought, Richard, we would like to eventually hear the new iteration, man. Like, because you got wonderful, divinely bestowed gifts that you actually took advantage of and made work. You know how many gifted people don't do dick? He knows that. He says it a lot. You
Yep.
are a special character, brother. God bless you, and just keep rocking, man. We got your back. We're with you, and I'm ready. I want a follow up to Fix the World and SciVivor. I want to hear what he's got to share now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, right before you got on here, I was telling everyone that I asked a question, pardon me, several times in the chat, and he reads all the questions when he's doing his live streams, right? As if he, like, because I could tell that he would read questions around questions that I had. So I was like, it didn't get skipped. He's just not answering it. And the question was, has anything in your worldview changed so much?
I did hear you say that.
That you would have to rewrite something. And I think he avoided it because I think that answer is yes. I believe that he's got things that he doesn't believe anymore, or things that he does believe that he didn't before. So I agree. Like, I'm excited to do this work and to get this done. For again, for publishing, because I think that's going to be awesome. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the sequel and to find out what he's got to say now. And I mean, he's saying it right, like he still has a lot of things that he's saying, and especially talking about his own like creating Hexaco for real, right? Like, okay, so like I guess that's fine, Richard. I guess if you're gonna create your own nation state, or if that's what you want to call it, I guess that I can just work on SciVivor and not bother you about it.
I'll tell you, he would
important.
have a very, very diverse and capable squadron team army at his back for that.
Yeah, he would.
You know, when I think about guys like Whales and Kinetics and Johnny Chaos and Crypto Kool-Aid and 369 and Vince, and like just keep going and going and going, you know.
Yeah.
Like this is a serious, like Motley and Wendy's, like god damn brand. And oh, I just freaking love this place. I love these people, and
Dude,
I love how we all have our slot.
Yeah, exactly. That's like exactly. You know, again, the serendipity and the timing and the amazingness. Like there is no doubt in my mind that this is one of those hive mind collective type occurrences. We are all coming together. Kind. Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Because transhumanism and that whole you know, other school of thought that isn't Arsene's and Aubrey de Grey, that's a scary Luciferian hive mind that I've studied deeply. And
I need to know a little bit more about that. I've only recently started to look into transhumanism because I saw that Richard talked about it a little bit in terms of it not being right, like it's not what he's about.
I wrote an article. I gotta let you see it.
Is transhumanism, is that kind of like the study of, or the idea that it would be like a bionic human? Like we're talking about
yeah. If you think about maybe the Matrix movies with the port in the back of the head, and you're gonna plug into now this. Ooh, my skin's crawling. You're gonna give up self to plug into the hive, the Borg. You're gonna plug into the Borg, and in the field of the Borg, you know, your morality, I'm sure that has to go bye-bye. So maybe you'll do all kinds of accept all kinds of things that you formerly would have found repugnant. Okay. But you're, oh boy, I won't have to be dumb or fat or ugly, or, and this is their biggest thing, this is their biggest impetus, right? Grow up, motherfuckers. I won't have to die. Real natural, guys. What, you got a little bit of a problem with like the universe and creation, right? Can't deal with it. You got a little wee too. I'm just so I went down. I know the heart of darkness as well as anybody. I know how these people think, and wherever I needed the gaps filled in for me, I found Mark Passio and Dr. Joseph P. Farrell. So Mark Passio, God bless that brother. He might hate my guts because we got into it on his podcast once. He took a year off his podcast. He just came back recently. Mark Passio, Passio, South Philly juggernaut, one of the best researchers on planet Earth now. I asked some questions that pissed him off so bad, he quit his podcast for a year. Dang. But I still respect the shit out of the guy. I absolutely love him. He was a former Luciferian or satanic rather priest, okay, a high priest. So he got to, you know, rub elbows with the architects of our society, because that's what they are. That's their religion. That's what enables people to, I don't know, rape kids and perform human sacrifices. It's all justified right there. It makes perfect sense. It's perfectly fine. Passio said that he would be in these grottos with other high priests, and he was a low level. He had just gotten in. He had like a diploma. I swear to God, he had like something sent to him from Anton LaVey, who was nearing the end of the road. And who's the 4-star general? Aquino. Yeah. That, oh my God, that guy's scary as hell. You know, these people are extremely powerful, and they're like the puppet masters in a way. All this is awesome. All the new age publishing houses. Do you know what the purpose of that stuff is? To keep humanity spinning its wheels. Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, The Secret. Listen, guys, that stuff's garbage. Now, sure, you might have gleaned, you might have got a little something from one of those books that was the Celestine Prophecy. Yes, you got something from that helped you a little bit. But in the big picture, what did that do for you? What did it really, really do for you? Because here's some things I can tell you. The Secret, right, takes the actual law of attraction and makes it commodified and attractive to people by taking the real process, the real laws governing humanity and the universe. They take that. There's a great secret, and they have a girl looking at a diamond necklace. Oh, I just want it, and I want it so bad. I'm gonna get it. Oh, I got it. That's the law of attraction. Get the fuck out of here. That's not. Oh, it makes me so angry. The law of attraction is real. If you want to study the law of attraction, listen to Passio from What on Earth is Happening. He does a fucking, oh God, his presentations are like 13 hours long. He does a whole presentation on the actual bona fide law of attraction. And it's so natural. It makes so much sense. It's so elegant. It's so perfect. You want to know who knows all about the real law of attraction? Richard motherfucking Hart. Hell yeah.
100%.
Yep. Sorry, I get passionate about some of this shit because they're pulling the wool.
You?
They're pulling the wool. I mean, read that Eckhart Tolle bestseller. Read that bestseller, okay? The Power of Now. How many different ways can one person say the same goddamn thing over and over and over and over and over again? Yeah, you just have to be here now. And if you just don't judge anything and be here now, living in the present moment now, forever, and do not judge, like this whole do not judge thing. Do you realize how hard they're pushing that on us? Don't judge. Don't judge. If I'm over here raping kids, if I'm over here committing human sacrifice, if I'm taking all your money and bombing shoeless brown kids, don't judge. Don't judge. Suspend judgment. No, that is a crock of shit. Do judge. You know what's right and wrong. Moral relativism is the root of everything wrong with this earth right now. We all know you do not steal. You do not kill. You do not rape. These are basic fucking things. They all come down to don't thief. Yeah. Don't lie. Don't lie. That means you don't steal the opportunity to have truth. All don't steal. You don't rape. You don't steal a woman's freedom to choose and honor her sexuality. That's another form of thievery. It's all thievery.
What a great way to put that.
Well, that's what it is. I'm telling you, I had a moment where I had decades and nights of tears and violence and sadness. And then one day it all hit me like a ton of bricks. And now, do I sound like a person who's confused? I mean, I seen the light. I seen the truth. And it's like, it's closer. It's close. It's like they say in the Bible, right? It's closer than my own cheek. And we put it, and the forces of this earth, they put it way, way out there. It's way out there, right? Oh, if you don't like that about him, guess what that means? That's something about yourself you don't like. Man, fuck that. Fuck that shit. That's such a cop-out. I will never accept that. Never.
Yeah.
No, it's an okey doke. When we were in Philly, we call that a motherfucking okey doke. That's an okey doke. Fuck that shit. I'm sorry.
Wait, hold on. Expand upon that for the non-Phillians.
The okey doke. I mean, they're running game. They're running game. The motherfuckers is running game. It's an okey doke.
Okay. I hear that.
Sorry, SJ. We hit on the.
No apologies.
We hit on where he's passionate.
Yeah. This actually goes right into this little chapter that I want to read real quick.
Oh, awesome. I love hearing you read.
Yeah, because this is where, for me, and I talked about this on the last stream, and I did not take the time to find Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau, is that the right word? There's a guy. Hold on.
You talking about the prime minister?
No.
Okay.
It's writer. You can have. Hold on. I gotta find it now because I'm talking about it a second time.
Yeah, do your thing, babe.
I feel like Trudeau is his last name too.
There was a cartoonist called Gary Trudeau back in the day. Did Doonesbury.
Kevin Trudeau.
Kevin Trudeau.
Is this right? Let me see. I just found author, salesman. He got in trouble. Is this right? Yes, I found it. Okay. So this dude's name was Kevin Trudeau. He is still alive. He may be in prison. He had this, it was a audiobook series that was given to me. Someone, most random thing, it happened to me on my birthday. This was many years ago. And we were at a karaoke club, and this guy was just like, I feel like you need this. And he gave me this audiobook series. It was all on CDs at the time. And it's called Your Wish is Your Command. And I listened to it. And it is similar in what you were saying about The Secret, where he's taking all of this information about the law of attraction and kind of like dumbing it down. I did find a lot of things within that series that he wrote because he took it from everywhere else.
Well, that's the thing. Right? They wouldn't. Every lie has to be a majority of truth. Otherwise, humanity wouldn't buy it. Right now, I'm not going to discount the whole thing because you just testified. You just said you got benefits.
I did learn. I did benefit.
Hear, you know, yeah.
I definitely did because I think because it was really actually my first deep dive in, or not, I mean, whatever, like my first interaction with the law of attraction. It was my first, like that was my gateway to that terminology and that way of thinking. And, you know, and also there were small things that I believe Richard also touches on that he said that to apply in your life. Like one thing that I do now that I never did before reading or listening to that audiobook was I write in pen. I write down my intentions in blue ink.
Oh, wow.
I use blue specifically, and I use pen and paper specifically because that is a manifestation tool.
See, I'm an analog. I like that. I never even thought about that, but I've been an analog kid my whole life. I need tactile parchment paper, and I need pens. And I'll tell you, I'm a picky son of a bitch.
I imagine you writing on like papyrus with quills. You know?
Well, that's what my dad does.
Nice.
That's what my dad does. He was very popular for that, you know.
Lovely. But yeah, Gen Hex Craig, I think he was an infomercial guy. And again, I think he might have been locked up for embezzlement or something. That's interesting.
Craig here. Is Gen Hex here?
Yeah.
Oh, did he see Blood Honey? I know he's a big fan.
I don't know.
Why did I say that out loud?
You may have summoned Blood Honey again.
Well, yeah, and I'm still worried about the fox. You guys don't even understand. Everybody thinks it's a joke. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Thothschild plays with puppets. Do you know what it's like? Do you guys know what it's like to have these things living in your walls and you just don't even know at any time, like some shit could go down? I have multiple high-powered weapons in this house. I have not hit them once. Sorry. Oh, Sarah. Okay, hold on. Go ahead. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. That's an interesting point that in law, blue ink is used. So that makes a lot of sense. I mean, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like I've seen documents before where it says, please sign in blue ink. Because that way you know it's not a copy, right? Like you can make black ink or black ink can be a copy, but that makes a lot of sense. This is good to do. That
girl talking right there, she's one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. That 1S.
Yeah. Yeah. In cults, you sign in blood. Heard. Oh, and here we go.
What's that say? Is that a skunk and a white heart? What is that?
I think it's supposed to be it's a badger. It looks like a badger.
Okay.
Who
Well
knew
done.
they had a
Well
badger
done.
emote? Okay, so let me go ahead and read this little blip here.
Uh-huh.
It says, learning takes time you could spend taking action. So sorry, so to kind of like bring it full circle, the reason I brought that up is because, yes, where we learned from these different authors what maybe the law of attraction was, or we touched on it by bit by bit, right? I think kind of the point Thoth was making earlier is that it, and what we really want to focus on is what Richard's going to talk about here. It's not just that thought. It's not just thinking the thing and all of a sudden, oh yes, here's the magical thing in front of me, you know? So with that being said, I will read now. It says, learning takes time you could spend taking action. Get off your ass and do something. Stop learning. And that was like, oh, interesting. So stop learning, he says. All of these chapters of excuse me, burp. All of these chapters of awesomeness mean nothing if left unacted upon. I could just leave it there, but I'll keep going. It's just another paragraph. It says, the world doesn't need to learn more. The knowledge is all free, free to deliver, free to receive, and free to put into use. It's never been better. It's never been more plentiful. We don't need more knowledge. We need people to get off their ass and do things. And that's what salespeople do, more so than anyone else in the world. They get you to sign on the dotted line with blood. I'm sorry, that's not in the book. They get you to sign on the dotted line and to use your economic resources to better your own life. And then you got to do something for someone else. General success, gratitude, relationships, peer groups, internal environment, fairness to one's self. It says the pain of working goes away when you start the work. Again, he touches on this, getting to the gym is hard, being at the gym is easy. You can't live at the gym forever or at work forever, which is great, unless you live in Japan. Sorry, again, off the cuff remark. But no, I mean, I heard about, and I'm sure you guys have heard about that too in the past, where these people, you know, a lot of Japanese businessmen, I just heard about Japan in particular. I'm sure it happens in other places of the world, but they just sleep in their offices. They work all day, they sleep, they get up, they work all day. It's terrible.
Oh my God. They have, like, it's acceptable to pay top dollar in Tokyo for a bed in an apartment that is this big. And you're like, oh, it's time to eat dinner. And you go like this. Oh, and then it's time to brush my teeth. Time to watch TV. Like, whoa, no thanks. I live in the woods now. I've lived in cities a lot of my life. Guess where I live now? The woods.
Yep.
And I want to go deeper and farther into the woods. That's where my pulse that's where my pulse sacrifice and pulse sex sacrifices are going. Guns in the woods.
I just said there was one last sentence. It says,
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. Yep. So I'm going to repeat this last sentence. It says, you can't live at the gym forever or at work forever, which is great. You don't need to, and you shouldn't, but you should develop and have a healthy duty cycle.
Yeah.
So cycling your day, doing things that are important, doing things that are going to bring you gratification, doing things that are going to bring you success, doing things. Yeah, I love it.
A long time. That took me, I know it sounds so common fucking sense. And it was one of the things that really took me a long time to learn. Really, I was guilty of it because I was like this idealist. And the thing about, I almost want to call him master, because I will address, when I was in the Sufism, there was a house that had one of the greatest American Sufi Islamic gurus ever by the name of Bawa Muhyiddin. Blessed be his name. And he was a true master in a very, very different way, Master Hart is one as well. And I admire SJ, how fucking transcendent. It's so weird to say these two words together, but it's exactly what it is. he is so transcendently practical.
Mm-hmm.
Is so, I mean, God, if you can't learn something about Richard Hart, or from Richard Hart rather, about being practical and making this life work for you in this dimension here in this lifetime, then you're just like not paying attention. The guy is a fount of wisdom in that regard.
Yep.
Amazing. I learned from him.
Yep.
I admit it. I learned from Richard Hart.
Yeah, I seriously, I think that's why I'm so into doing this work and editing and getting this information out there, because it's the first time in a long time that I'm reading something and I feel smarter. Maybe that's my own damn fault, right? Like maybe I just hadn't made the effort to go out there and read more challenging books or read things, that are going to increase my brilliance, but this has fucking done it. And I loved going through the first rendition of the audio and then having to look up words that I didn't know the definition to. I had to look up words that I didn't know how to say, and I learned. And I was just like, oh my goodness, my brain. Like it felt so good that I was just like, okay, if this feels good to me, I consider myself relatively intelligent. I got some brains up in there. And, I feel like that's the general rule for women in the crypto world. I think that if you find women who are actively engaged in crypto here, you're going to find that they are more intelligent than your general population.
And Hexagon women are the cream of the fucking crop. The best,
because we see
the most beautiful, the most witty, the most intelligent, the most on point. And you know what else is really amazing about Hexagon women? They're too smart to purchase this lie. The way that corporations and the cultural value system run by these Luciferian puppet masters, they've misappropriated the power of women, of sisters, of the goddess, and it makes me fucking sick. And they got our girls and our women believing all this shit that gives up their power, and they adopt these really weird belief systems. It's like, instead of making the world a better place, I'm going to fight so that guy can chop his cock off and wear mascara. I'm like, okay, that's great, but I think you're missing the point a little bit. Like, you're ready to hang people for pronouns. Like, what about you being fucking mother of the earth type of shit, and like Mexican women are no bullshit. They won't stand for that stuff. They're too smart. They're too smart for that. I love it. It's so refreshing, SJ.
Yeah, it's interesting. That point touches on some things for me. I don't know that I feel comfortable talking about all of this yet, but we may get to that at some point. But in so much as I will say that Richard has changed my mind on a lot of things. And I also see now more clearly the way that division, the way that terminology can cause more division than inclusion. Like,
I hear what you're saying.
People using those different pronouns, it does divide to me more than it does bring together. And the other thing I wanted to touch on was and I don't know why, people like decide to do the things that they do. I'm not going to, I don't judge people. Like I
go to town. Just don't force it on me. Go to town.
Oh, sorry. Hold on one second.
I think what SJ just,
Sorry, my cat.
Oh, I was like, is it going to be a child or a cat? Okay.
I just thought I thought I heard her. I think she was meowing in her sleep, and it sounded like she was in pain. I was worried.
I was saying while you were gone, I was saying what SJ just said is really powerful.
What I wanted to continue on that point though was, I think that in part, maybe, and this is just a total bullshit theory that I'm just kind of making up right now, but I think that in part that is happening because the patriarchy has been so oppressive for so long.
I know.
Like, I fucking watched this documentary when I was coming out of the mindset of restrictive Christianity, and like, you know, like I had this very like, I feel like I was a lot more small-minded in the past in terms of like subscribing to a religion and things like that. Not I don't have anything against it now. Like,
Sure.
you know, I was jaded for a while, but you know, believe what you want to believe.
Mm-hmm.
I watched in that coming out and opening my mind and learning more things and expanding my knowledge. I watched a documentary about the witch hunts and the witch trials and how many women were killed. There were towns left without women, entire towns
And what's that
where
tell you?
women were completely eradicated. How
Uh-huh.
do you do that?
Right. Well,
How do you think?
let me ask you a
that's
question.
gonna-
How comfortable do you think those men were in their masculinity? Not at
Right?
all.
Not at
Because they
all.
weren't real fucking men. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the people, this is where I get really jagged off. There's psychopaths. There's also demons walking around the earth in skin clothes. Okay. But when you become a foot soldier for that, when you choose to close your soul and your spirit and your eyes and your, what are the proteins in your DNA? A, C, T, and G. Guess the fuck what? Right in there, you know. And if you choose to repudiate that and turn your head for it, you become a foot soldier in murder, slavery, subjugation, and injustice. And guess what? It might happen through me. I ain't saying nothing. Might happen through another arm of God. It might happen through God himself. But when you show up there at the pearly gates, if you say, I was told to do that. Oh, you were told to burn that 14-year-old barefoot girl in her nightgown. You were told to do that? All right. Yeah. Do not pass go. Go fucking straight down there, bro. Wait. I and
Right?
nowadays it's going to be like, I shamed that family because they weren't wearing those masks, or I forced these people to take this experimental medical. Oh, you did? Really? Yeah. And what
Yep.
what proof did you have that was like wise, intelligent, responsible, and just? See, here's the thing, sister. We Hexagons understand one very important thing that I do not get any indication that these Bitcoin maximalists understand. And do you know what it is? Yes, we all say freedom, sovereignty, autonomy, da 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 da. Guess what Hexagons know about that? That shit all requires responsibility and accountability. Ain't nothing free in this motherfucker. Nothing's free. We know, we're smart enough to know math. It's called math.
Yeah.
You
Numbers.
get the freedom. You get the freedom. You get to enjoy your shit and do your shit. If you hold up your end of the bargain, you got to do that. If you walk around this motherfucker like you're entitled, and you're calling the shots, and I'm free, I'll be like, bitch, what the fuck have you done lately? Please. People got it all twisted up. Sister, I was blue check, left wing, salt of the earth, liberal, Democrat. Okay, we're talking Western Pennsylvania origins. If my people were not educators, they were coal miners. We're talking Eugene V. motherfucking Debs. Coal miners. We were goddamn near fucking socialist motherfuckers. Okay. I got a sense that that's kind of what maybe you're not as extreme as me, but you sound like you kind of had to turn yourself from that a little bit. And SJ, I'm right there with you. The strange thing for me is that, I mean, I hate to say it, but my father has not turned his head from that. My father will believe whatever Rolling Stone magazine tells him to believe. And it breaks my heart. Because I understand the heart of darkness, and I understand there is no contract that says a corporation has to tell you the fucking truth about anything.
right?
They have an end game. Everything they do has an end game. If you don't
Yep.
see that, then you lack imagination.
Yeah, you're playing checkers, not chess. You know,
Woo!
like there's so many pawns involved, so many pieces involved,
You're right.
and so many people are blind to that. They just take at face value whatever is thrown at them and whatever's put in front of them.
Why would they do
So
that? That's what I used to hear all my life. People would be like, "Oh, I don't know. Why would they do that?" I'd be like, "Bitch, you don't understand what's at stake here. This is a soul." Aldous Huxley said, "The game is soul sized now."
mm,
Oh, I love
wow.
that, man. That's just like, that's what it is, man. That's what it is. It's, we're not here by accident. We're not
Right.
suffering this slings and arrows of this incarnation of life on this planet at this time. And moreover, applicative to this conversation, you, my brothers and sisters, are not a hexagon because of some random chance.
Yeah.
It's mm, 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 mm.
Yeah, and I think it's beautiful that we can have this conversation. And I don't know, do you mind sharing at all what your like religious like are do you subscribe to like a church religion type thing, or like I feel like you're kind of more like maybe not so
Yeah,
much?
people have a problem with it because I am, and I get tired because aren't we all sick of hearing? Well, if I'm going to be honest with you, I'm extremely spiritual, but I'm not religious. Well, guess what? You got me. I guess for once, I guess I'm like going to be like colloquial and typical and shit. I mean, I told the story to Luther on official pulsification a tad. I was raised Roman Catholic. And then I said, but when that priest tried to stick his penis in my ass in the back room, that ended that for me. No, I'm just kidding. That didn't happen. I repudiated Catholicism. I just couldn't deal with it. It didn't smell right. It didn't taste right. It didn't feel right. The emphasis of this great teacher bloody and hanging on this fucking cross, this just does not, this is guilt, 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 guilt. I ain't down with that. So I did this little tour around different sects of Christianity until I just said, F it, and took as many window panes and psilocybin mushrooms as I could. Okay.
Okay.
And at that point, I did the world tour. I mean, the only one I didn't really spend time in is Hinduism. But I mean, I was like hardcore taking Tai Chi, reading the Tao nonstop. And then I was like, oh, maybe I'm more Buddhist. And then you're like, oh,
Right.
this is as bad as Christianity because which Buddhist am I? And then I saw a bunch of problems with that.
Mm.
Like for Buddhism, there was so much acceptance and inactivity. I found that to be
Mm-hmm.
disturbing. You could
Richard
stand
talks
up.
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could stand up and save a life or change the world, but you fucking don't. That's
Yeah.
stupid. So after that, I found, and this is funny, I
Hold
do
on. I'm
not.
listening. I'm just gonna disappear for a second.
No, that's fine. I do not subscribe. Okay. I'll say it loud and proud. If you do, that's your business and rock and roll, friends. I don't give a fuck. I don't subscribe to either of the three religions of the book because I know far too much history, factual, conspiracy analysis. So, it's odd for me to admit and to say that I did, in fact, find my greatest spiritual resonance. And I brought up Bawa Muhyiddin. I brought him up earlier because that's actually where I found my greatest spiritual resonance was in Sufism. Now, the thing, for those of you who know something about Sufism, it actually, and I could get burned or shot, in some countries for saying this, but real Sufism, true open Sufism, it predates Muhammad, if Muhammad actually walked the face of the earth, which I do not think he did. Nor do I believe. I named my son Solomon because it's an archetype. I don't believe a King Solomon walked the face of the earth. I don't believe a David fought a Goliath. I don't believe an Abraham was here. I don't believe there was a Moses or a Haggai or Sarah or I don't. That shit is so textured and leveled. Now, you can't take what I'm saying lightly unless you fucking sweat, cried, bled, read 1,000 books, and put in time. Okay. You got to understand this is hard earned to arrive where I've arrived. I would not recommend it for anybody. And if you are finding joy and peace and brotherhood and sisterhood in your local church, you better not miss next Sunday. I'm being serious. Whatever makes you a better, richer human being, do it. Just do that. I would never nail somebody to the cross. Ha ha, waka waka. I would never nail somebody to the cross for that. You got to do what you got to do. But I see some things crystal clearly right now. And what happened after Sufism, I got scared off by the Islam aspect, okay? Because there were guys in Philly, in those mosques that were like, first off, I don't like this cracker. Second off, he's a half stepper because I heard he was DJing and I'm like, yo, you all are like up in my shit that much. Like they wanted somebody to join the Mujahideen. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, this ain't the part I'm jiving with. So you know where I landed, SJ? And I told Luther last time. I landed, it's one of my catchphrases. I have like 10 quotes I say all the time. I landed on sovereign autonomy. That's my Western PA coming out. Autonomy. Sovereign autonomy under natural law. So if I believe anything, that's what I believe. And at the end of the day, another thing sorry, Luther, that I said there that I'll say here. There's only one magic. All magic is just hidden science. Hidden math and hidden science, whether you can levitate or whether I can speak to you. Guess what? There's an algorithm for that. The only one that isn't is love, 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 love. That's the shit, folks. We all know it. Fuck. What?
That's beautiful. I love that.
Thanks. It's true.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to share that. I know that, I mean, I feel like there are so many different, we kind of touched on this before, but there are so many different people in this Hex family, you know, and we all have varying belief systems and, you know, things that we are interested in and do. And kind of the point that bringing it back, the point that I wanted to make in that was, isn't it beautiful that you and I can have this conversation and say that thing about how it's no joke. It's not no joke. It's definitely not a joke, but it also is not by chance, right? And I don't subscribe, like I don't go to church or anything like that. I consider myself kind of that same vein, right? Like I'm sovereign in where I am. I believe in love. That's the best way for me to put it. The easiest way to do it is God is love. And I worship love, and I am love.
You say God is love, and to you, my dear, I say namaste.
That's absolutely. So that, you know, and so to be able to have this conversation here, and I just heard Crypto Heartbeat and the Joker having that exact same dialogue. That it's not a chance. There's no, chance, or just, it's not random that we're here. We were all brought here for a huge purpose. And I love that it seems as though many people who are in this community, in myself included, and, maybe why I'm saying this is that I have found so much purpose within this community and doing what I'm doing here.
Absolutely. SJ, I'm spreading my wings. Like, you know what I mean? I had almost shut it down. I'm sorry. Do you got to go?
No, Cyrus.
I had almost shut it down. One of them people, Richard talks about us, the guys that have the 100 billion IQ and then never do anything or accomplish fucking anything. Like I was just a ne'er-do-well, a fucking ne'er-do-well. Not owning weapons in the capacity that I do now to be a provider and a protector and a sovereign, autonomous, responsible man. I was toting around guns. I was addicted to drugs. I was living foul. I was way beneath who I am, who I'm supposed to be. And it was parenthood. Okay. Those of you, I got to tell you, man, y'all think I'm full of myself sometimes. I'll tell you something. Those of you who can get it together without having to bring children into the world, you have my utmost respect. I'm in awe. I'm in awe of people like Richard who can get it the fuck figured out before kids. Because for me, there wasn't nothing until I found out that first child was on the way. And that's when I was like, I got to change my whole shit. Like, because I had this vision of a little boy scared and alone because dad's coming home with coke rings around his nose and lipstick on his shirt at 4 a.m. every fucking night. And I was like, I knew so many guys, SJ, that were like this, bringing children into the world by multiple women, left and right and center and up and down. And I'm thinking, we're going to ask why our country is going to hell, like why society's falling apart. You could dead it right there. Dead it right there. Beginning and alpha omega. Dad's not home. Dad don't care. Let me tell you something. Yeah. The fear of dad, and I'm sorry, I know it's touchy for some people. Guess what? I'll let you in on a little secret. I've never hit any of my 4 children, but the fear of dad has that many human beings now in the world that to the child, I have heard from other people who don't care what the results are. Take me aside, SJ, I kid you not, 4 times now, Mr. Thothschild, I need to speak to you. They start talking and I'm doing one of these. Because I'm like, oh, God, what did they do? What did they do? They say to the child now, 4 of them, they say, Mr. Riddle, I have never in my fill in the blank, 16, 25, one woman, 40 years. I have never in my 40 years of teaching met a child so kind, so conscientious, so introspective, but still humorous. Like these people are coming up with these compliments and these adjectives. And I'm sitting there thinking, I used to fuck bitches in the alley and do blow off of the back of the toilet. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like what did I finally do right? And I know what it is because people ask me, how did you do this? How did you do this? I said, I didn't think about it. I really, really, really am telling you the truth that I never like secreted myself away and said, oh, this is the game plan. I'm going to nail it. No, it was purely living. And here's what I did. Each child, especially my boys, because my boys are not, I don't know how else to put this. The boys are not told how much they are unconditionally loved no matter what. And I squared each of those children up. Now, my daughter, forget about it. If she told me to jump off the cliff tomorrow, I'd do that. But her, as well as the knuckleheads, square them up, and I look them right in their eyes, and I say, you, as serious as a heart attack, I am swearing on the breath that I breathe, may it stop right now. You are the most important thing in my life. You changed my life. You saved my life, and I will love you, and I will be here for you forever, no matter what. And the child, they might not always get it the first time, but I make sure that at some point we lock eyes and I look into the little blacks of those little eyes and they look into mine and whoosh, it's infinity. And we're just wow, 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 wow. And once I hit that with the child, everything else is everything else is going to come together and work out, and I fear not. I just proceed. That's all I can do is proceed. This world is upside fucking down crazy right now. This is the worst time. Woo, who are you? Who do you think you are bringing a child into this world? Wait, 4 children you brought into this hellhole? Yeah, I think the motherfuckers need them.
Yeah, and that's again another thing that Richard speaks to is I don't remember which chapter it is, but he talks about the fact that people say that we have too many, like they say that there's too much population when that's not the truth at all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I want to just real quick say what's up to the chat because it's been a second and we've had people probably come in and out. But Jim Rat Crypto, hey man, I was talking about you in your challenge earlier. Super, yeah. Ooh, super excited to actually. This is part of my challenge right here. See this?
Hey, SJ, I heard we're all going to go to. I hear that all of Hexagon is going to go to PulseCon Cock Diesel. Like we're all just going to be like,
I like it.
Yeah, we're going to be.
I like it.
I can't wait. I used to be. I have gone from. I have no body fat. I never have, and I'm 50 years old. But I've gone from, and I'll let you continue in a minute. I've gone from Cock Diesel to Chicken Bone about 4 times back and forth in my life. Like, man, there was one time when I got up to like 190 and I looked at myself. I was like, damn, son. Yeah. And you know how quick you lose that when you stop.
Yeah, that's why I feel like this fitness challenge is so important because like I was saying, it's not, to me, it's not like I want to just look a certain way. I want to know that I'm fit. Like I want to feel physically well.
Like that feeling.
Exactly. So what's up, GRC? We got Larry Ballsack, ladies and gentlemen.
Larry Ballsack.
Larry, good to see you. I got Chris Side Effects to 7 up. What's up already? Mr. Prophet 74. Red Squirrel. Woo! I still gotta wrap my mind around your chart. Oh my goodness, I'm still trying to, like, my brain, it hurts looking at that stuff, but it's it's brilliant. It's all brilliant. I love it. Let's see. Valiant Brand said hi already. CBDoo, hello. There was someone earlier that was from the UK, and I don't know if I said hi to you or not, and I don't know if you're here anymore, and I can't find your name anymore. Riddick from the UK, what is up? Thanks for coming by and checking us out. Mixed Mix, aka J.A. Soul, good to see you. Did I say CBDoo already? I'm gonna say it again. Prez, welcome in. Who else we got here? I think that might be it for now. Folks. Yeah, Susie Q. What's up, Susie Q? Thanks for tuning in.
Oh wow. They say some beautiful things here in the chat. I'm just going back. Isis
Romanian says, Dan, real quick. Good to see you. And that's it. Okay. Yeah,
Isis, I'm sorry. I just wanted to read a couple of my favorites.
Yeah, please do.
But Isis is, or 1S. What should we call you, dear? 1S squared, cubed, 1S cubed.
1S cubed.
She says, too much religion and not enough God, or whatever term you prefer. And I think that's potent. Jen Hex, man, good to see you. J.A. Soul. How do you say that? Mixed mix, aka J.A. Soul. I've seen you for a year, and I never know how to say your name. Now, Red Squirrel, I know how to say that name. That's a good motherfucker right there. Larry Ballsack. Is that really your last name?
I don't think so. I don't think it is. I think that's someone in disguise.
Chris Side Direct.
Side Effects. That's a homie.
Okay. Oh, I've read it wrong. You're right. Mm-hmm. How clever you are.
Side Effects. That's his DJ name. He's a drum and bass DJ.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, I'm a Philly dude, so you know I fucking was around Diesel Boy and shit.
Oh,
I brought up Diesel Boy to Richard. Richard and I were going back and forth about drum and bass. Now, a funny thing about Richard and drum and bass is if you go back to, there's a 2018 stream. I could go through the history of Richard Hart streams and tell you that's Thothschild asking that question. And there was one where he was talking about drum and bass, and I said the name of the record. I said, "Do you know Square Pusher?" Because Square Pusher.
Oh, I love Square Pusher.
Oh,
I saw him live in Austin. Oh,
did he play the bass?
No, he was all on all the beat boops. He was
that guy,
doing
it's
all
like
his
a Jaco Pastorius level bass player too. You put him
amazing.
on. Yeah. So I said to Richard, I said, "Do you know Square Pusher?" Richard, fucking, you could see it on one of the old streams. I'll find. He goes, "I don't know." He says, "Is Square Pusher drum and bass?" I was like, "Ah, yes, dude." He's like one of the preeminent motherfuckers. But SJ, when I was a DJ, we always had the thing between the hip hop scratch guys and the house DJs, you know. And we were like, "Oh, another night of," but there were some interesting things. I used to do a really beautiful, and I have it recorded. I'll give it to you. It's a Brazilian drum and bass set. Have you ever heard polyrhythmic Brazilian drum and bass before? It's like real heavy on the percussion. Yeah.
I can't tell you that I know for sure, but I'm sure if I heard it, I'd
Oh
know.
my God. I had a soft spot in my heart for that kind of woody, organic Brazilian drum and bass shit. And the jazzy stuff, because I was a jazz student.
Hold on. I want this statement to be expanded upon, because first this happened.
Okay.
I don't remember what we were doing or talking about when this happened, but then this comment. What do you mean? What do you mean you did the vid? Tell me about this. Who are you? What does this mean? You did the video. Are you a cinematographer? What is this? What do you mean you did the vid?
What did
were you
ballsack
dancing
mean?
in the video?
What did ballsack mean about Beyonce?
I think we were doing something or talking about something. Like maybe
We
I
were
was going like
talking
this. I
about
don't know.
something. We've been talking about some
But I
stuff.
was super intrigued by that now. So yeah.
Cat
Tell me about that.
be smoking crack.
Oh, Hexographer. I didn't get to say hi to you. What's up, Hexographer? Thank you again for tuning in.
Yeah, Balliot Brand is still here. Are we honored or what that Brand is
We're
still
honored.
here? Oh,
In
man.
fact, Bran, I might reach out to you to come on next week. And then what I might do, because I've been thinking about this, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm either gonna start to have a bunch more people, like a panel
Like a
for
round
this.
table.
Yeah. I've been thinking of going in that direction because this is great. I love the one-on-one discussion. Maybe what I'll do is, depending on who it is or what's going on, like maybe it'll just be like me and one other person sometimes. But I think what I'd like to do is like maybe have Bran on next week, and then the week after that do a panel and just have whoever wants to come on come hang out and talk about it. So Bran, if you're up for it next Sunday,
Can
let me know.
I ask Wales to come on with us?
I would love that.
He'll do it for
Wales.
you. He won't do it for just anybody, but I bet he'll do it for
I
you.
know.
You're representing. You're out here working hard.
I sure hope so, man. He's one of the his follow right on Twitter is like more prestigious than getting a follow from Richard sometimes. He still doesn't follow me. Wales only. That's okay though.
He's the penultimate.
Well, because it also, and I don't follow everyone too. A lot of that is like, I'm not going to just follow you if all you do is retweet, or like you're not like really providing information that I'm looking for. I do try to keep my like intake low because I am outputting. So it's important for me to just be able to focus on the output and to input things that are going to benefit my output. So no offense to anyone, like, if it really breaks your heart that I'm not following you, I'm so sorry. But or if you do feel like you have something that, you're like, hey, Esther, you probably should follow me because I talk about SciVivor, or I talk about, these different philosophers that could contribute to what you're doing. I would love that.
Say something about that real quick.
Real quick before you do, I have one request for like the general, especially OG older Hexagon people and or Richard Hart followers. I am working on editing Fix the World right now. Within the book Fix the World, if you go look at it, again, go to t.me/SciVive, go to the files, and then look for Fix the World. There are all of these little references in there. It'll say like SC103 or R848 or R this. Someone please help me figure out what they're referencing. I'm guessing that they're referencing videos and like when he was talking about different things. But if I can find out what those letter combos mean and how to find the audio, because I know most of it was transcribed from like audio to text. So to help me, help you, help Richard, please, if anyone knows what those notations are, please get a hold of me. Or if you knew who the other editor was in the past, like I'd love to get in touch with them because I don't like. I mean, Richard's busy man. He's got so much to do.
Oh,
Like this is like
so
the
hard.
like low on his plate of things that he needs to like
You
focus on
are
right
a
now.
very, very lucky young lady. I have to tell you. I mean, you might be, you know how sometimes we're too close to a situation to really feel it, see it, or understand it. You, my dear, the eye of the beholder fell upon you. I mean, the man asked you a question at the conference, or you asked him a question and got that. He liked your hat, and you're, oh, I don't know what it is you said or what. And then here's the real mind fucking blower. He's tweeted about you like 3 fucking times. I'm just like, SJ, go girl, damn.
Yeah.
It's awesome. You're so inspiring.
Well, it's because I'm uplifting him. If it was just like, my bullshit, like, not that any of my content is just bullshit. I love doing this, and I love my Woman Crush Wednesday streams. But if it was just these conversations, or just, just having that, I don't think it would have happened, because he sees that I'm making it, and it really blows my mind, y'all. Like, I don't get how I was the first one to do the audiobook. Like,
everything is
why
happening
didn't anybody else
simultaneously.
that,
It is.
true.
There's because here's the thing. Let me tell you something. Oh, real quick to your other point. When I was studying jazz theory on guitar, and I was very, very serious about my instrument. See, nobody knows I play. Nobody knows that I'm as good as I am, because I don't really do it. I'm a dad that has 3 jobs and volunteers at an old folks home, and like I got like all these kids and shit. Like, when the fuck, and I'm trying to be a good hexagon, but I would literally, it wasn't hatred that I had for other artists, but I literally did not want my consciousness to be tainted by other. But I was that serious about it. There was only one guy I listened to. He was my friend, my personal friend. He was a master, and he just R.I.P. Pat Azuri of South Philadelphia, better known as Pat Martino. I mean, he lived like 80 years. Greatest jazz guitarist. They called him the Velvet Hammer. That's how he played. He would just get you right here. This warm jazz tone, almost all the treble taken completely out of the equalization. And the gauge of his strings were so heavy. He's the one that got me playing flat wound, heavy strings. Like, if I get on a guitar that I can actually get some action that bends, like a shredder's guitar, like a thrasher's guitar, it's like a different instrument. I can't stand 8 gauge and 9 gauge. I need my high E strings to be like 12s, 13, 14. That's where I start. And that's where I got that from. But other than Pat Martino, man, oh man, like Charlie Hunter came through. I don't know if all y'all know who he is. Really good. And I had an opportunity to like sit in and all this stuff. And I was just like, and I was like, oh, you stuck up? I was like, no, I'm not stuck up. That man's really good, and he's going to color my thinking, and I don't want him to, So I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying about that. Like, you're trying to, how we watch what we eat, we want to watch what we take into our consciousness.
Absolutely.
And it's not an insult. Like, in the same way that I acknowledge Charlie Hunter is a Hall of Fame, gifted, talented guitarist, it's just like, can't fuck with it. That's all I'm saying,
Yeah, absolutely. I think we got about like 15 minutes left. I wanted to keep it at 2 hours, but we're good. Between 2 and 3 is good. And I know we got we got a couple people. It looks like Bran is going to stream in half an hour, and Hexray Vision is
we got to get out of his way.
They're both streaming in about half an hour. So
what up, bro? Hey, Hexagon Tattooer, thank you for what you said earlier too. Oh, I know what I want to ask you. Your ladies thing. I don't know. She's a very down low, but maybe 1S Cubed would like to come on and talk with you about like divestment and private law and extrication from the corporation, and really neato.
I would love that.
Oh, she's so humble too. She's like, oh, I don't know anything. I'm like, yeah, you only know more than anybody I've ever personally met. So
yeah, and totally up to you. We can do audio only or video, like whatever you're comfortable
that's probably
with.
what you would do. That's probably
Yeah.
what we do.
But hit me up. Send me a DM. I would believe I would follow you on Twitter if I'm not already. Just let me know. I think I also just have my DMs open.
Well, I
so
don't
if you
think
need
she
to.
fucks around on Twitter anymore that much.
Okay.
Like I quit Facebook like
I
a
did
year
too.
ago. I'm so glad I did.
Yeah.
I don't miss
Bunch
that
of
at
junk.
all.
Awesome. I'd be happy to share what I know, she says. So
Oh, awesome.
we'll figure it out. Maybe what I can do here, I'm going to put my email. This is my public email, I guess. Sci-Fi.
It is now.
SJ. Yeah. Hopefully I don't get spammed, but go ahead and 1s cubed. I think I spelled that right. It's scivivingsj@gmail.com.
Nice.
Go ahead and hit me up via email, and we can figure something out. I think I have guests lined up for the next couple weeks. I have to actually get in touch with a lady to see if she's still going to do this Wednesday, and then I'm hoping to have Kaylin from the Crypto Sparbug team on.
Oh, she's
coming
my
up too.
buddy. We had a good time
Yeah.
in Philadelphia. Good
Yeah,
time. And that's
super
where I
cool.
met Tap.
Oh, I love
Tap
Tap.
became this like huge popular Hexagon, but like nobody knew who he was when we had the Philly meetup. Did you ever hear that story? They came
No.
out with the roster of the dates, and they were like, "This is going to be the ultimate, U.S. tour." And I looked at it, and I was like, "Y'all motherfuckers are doing the ultimate U.S. tour, and you're not stopping in the city where the country was founded." So I was given, who was it? Lion, Patrick, and Rainmaker. I was giving them a bunch of shit, and that's actually how Rainmaker and I became good friends now. I love me some Rainmaker, man. My life is better when I talk to Rainmaker at least once a week for like an hour or two. He's just
This, by the way, I like to sing. If anyone, I'm always like, who's doing karaoke? When are we getting the band together? When's that gonna happen? I actually reached out to Freddie Coates too. I was like, hey man, like, you got any tracks you need backup vocals on? Because I would love to do that. So
nice.
yeah, if anyone's jamming anytime soon,
we're
holler.
doing some hip hop instrumental productions. Me and my old co-conspirator. He doesn't want me to use his name in Hexaco, but he has a platinum record and he remixed. I can't even say it. Imagine one of the greatest jazz musicians who ever lived, and imagine that you're such a respected producer that the record company seeks you out and literally gives you the masters of the original recording sessions and says, take these apart and remix them. And that's what he did. So he's my partner. His name, he goes by Roganov now. And we have 3 hip hop tracks, and you know what we're going to do with them, right? We're going to chop up whales. We're going to chop up whales, boys.
I can't get enough of that. Yes,
well,
please.
the beard kind of, Markable kind of got us all on that vibe. And we feel like we have something different to bring, because we're coming out of a, not necessarily like, what's the one everybody would know, like De La Soul or Tribe Called Quest. We were like Slum Village, all the Griselda shit, like Benny the Butcher, Conway the Machine, like Gangstar going back. Like that's the mode of underground hip hop. Like when I say hip hop, I don't fuck with the pop shit like at all. I didn't back in the 80s. I didn't in the 90s. I don't now. I don't even really think it's real hip hop. I call it corporate hop.
Mumble rap.
Mumble rap. What was that?
Yeah.
Oh, what a hiccup in humanity, or I should say wet fart in humanity's arc of artistry. I'm reticent to even call it fucking artistry. Oh my God. Did you ever see the video where they took the lyrics and the voices out and they just make noises while they're rapping? And he's like, no. And the girl like makes it's so juvenile, but it's so apropos.
Nice.
That stuff.
Okay, well.
Okay.
Let's think. Oh, hey, you know what? I think I might have found the section that I was trying to find this whole time, but I could be wrong. But I do want to read this last section.
Okay, and I have one thing I want to say about time after you're done. The chapter.
Perfect. Okay, sweet. So this is called the Pomodoro technique. It says the Pomodoro technique is a time management system that encourages people to work with the time they have rather than against it. Using this method, you break your workday into 25-minute chunks, separated by 5-minute breaks. These intervals are referred to as Pomodoros. Hopefully I'm saying that right. The way the Pomodoro system works is by forcing you to take a break so you feel greedy about getting the most of what seems limited. And in that system, you're always limited. It's using time limits to create scarcity and rarity, and your subconscious responds to that by wanting to do what it's doing harder as long as you can, because you'll run out of time soon.
Oh my.
It's a way to use scheduling to make the time you have to do the work. It's a way to use scheduling to make the time you have to do work limited. Oh yeah, sorry. See, this is why reading it is, because you got to figure out like what the rest of the sentence is.
Right.
It's a way to use scheduling to make the time you have to do work limited, and therefore increase your conscious and subconscious desire to do that thing that you know you need to do. It also reduces the perceived cost you have to start working on a thing, because it makes the amount of time you can put into the thing more limited, which makes the thing seem like a smaller investment and therefore reduces starting friction. This last paragraph. This strategy of time gating is one of a few ways you can kick more ass on tasks. There's others, like the Dickenson process, where you focus on what the real cost to your life will be if you continue to engage in disempowering behaviors.
Wow.
And you can amplify the negative feelings associated with doing the wrong stuff and the great feelings from doing the right stuff. The Dickenson process is a neuro-linguistic programming technique and a process of transformation popularized by Tony Robbins' seminars and highlighted in Tim Ferriss's Tools of Titans book. The Dickenson process is based on the character of Scrooge in Charles Dickens' novella A Christmas Carol. Scrooge meets a ghost on Christmas Eve night and is shown what his future will be if he doesn't change his current bad behavior and limiting beliefs. The knowledge frightens Scrooge so much that he decides to change his life.
Wow.
Still not what I was looking for exactly, but what a great
You know, I got Siciliano blood. I got some Sicilian blood. So as soon as I hear Pomodoro, I'm like, tomatoes. All right, now we're talking.
It's all right, a Pomodoro tomato.
Everything that you're saying, it's like, Ian, are you listening to this? Like, this is what I need, not just to hear, SJ. I really need to soak. What did you say? Let's soak it in. You know, I need to really just infuse my life with this wisdom and put it to work, because SJ, I want to get my channel going, babe. Like, while I got some traction, you know, I got to be on a Cabana Crypto. I got to be on
Oh, I'm jealous. I can't wait to be on a Cabana show someday.
Well, I got to go on there to look like a jackass.
Oh no.
Well, I see, I have this thing because people, oh, you're such a conspiracy theorist. I say, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a conspiracy analyst, because conspiracies exist. And when I hear our streamers going episode after episode, like, that cluster of cells made no logical sense. Or this guy bought at 13 cents and sold for 11 cents. That doesn't make any logical sense. Like, and they keep saying that. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, I digress. I'm going off on something here, but I'm just like, I think we're looking at these maneuvers with our mind as if it was us or one of our friends, and we have limited resources. I'm saying to you, okay, and I mean for everybody, just think about this. When does the mob fuck you up? What do you got to mess with to get put in the river or in the concrete or in the ground? What's the streets say, right? Fuck with my money. If you fuck with somebody's money, you're going to get it, okay? Oh, I'm sorry. What's Hexago fucking with? Okay, I'll give you an exact one. Do you think we're problematic for some entities and people in this world? How do you think, here's one, it's so cute. How do you think JP Morgan, right, who, guys, owns Consensus, the company that makes your little foxy up in the corner there, your little MetaMask. How do you think JP Morgan is going to take it when RH and team make the greatest fucking wallet that's ever existed, and they just take, you know, I don't know, millions of human beings and just pull them right out and say, we got something better for you. How do you think? Do you think JP Morgan would just go, oh, shucks, God darn it, can't believe it? No, there is literally no limits. And when I say that, you guys need to start wrapping your hearts and minds around what the heart of darkness is and can do. You will be a better human being with street smarts. Okay. So many different types of intelligence, but you need street smarts. You got to wrap your head around what the heart of darkness is capable of. And I'm here to tell you, okay, I'm not saying be afraid. Okay. That accomplishes nothing. We keep building. We keep rocking and rolling. But I'm saying prepare yourself and stand firm, because you know how much money, MetaMask is making every day just on those fucking, what is that, 8% on them swaps? How do you think a corporation like that, who, by the way, whose founder is the reason that we have all these overhead power lines, right?
Wow.
Because him and Edison bent over backwards to bury the techniques and protocols and wisdom of the greatest mind that probably ever lived, in Nikola Tesla, right?
Yep,
right?
for sure.
I mean, guys, JP Morgan is not going to enjoy. They already hate our fucking guts. And I love that. Okay.
Yeah, disruption, man.
What was the last thing? We talked about Pomodoro. I know what I wanted to say. Well, two things. Did anybody ever find your Easter egg, SJ?
Someone did. Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
Are you allowed to share now, or are you going to keep it on the...
I said earlier that if you can find it, find it.
Oh.
Maybe I'll probably share it like in a few weeks or whatever if someone really wants to know. But it's it's audibly, you can hear it.
Uh-huh.
It's obvious. It's in chapter 6. I'll tell you, it's after the 2-hour mark.
Oh, look at her. Now I'm going to find it. Okay, well, what I wanted to point out was, like, Time, the chapter, how much extraneous shit does he fit in that chapter that doesn't, like, did you notice that? Like, when he talks about a woman spends a lot of time devising, a scenario. This is a characteristic of women. And when men, come barging in and just offer their stupid fucking oversimplified corrective suggestions, that might make you kind of an asshole. It's like, my God, Richard Hart, like, not only beautifully gifted, intelligent, street smart, as well as just all these qualities he has. Okay. But the man is going to unencrypt the mind of women for us as well. I'm just like, bro, I can't believe he put that in that chapter. I just wanted to point that out. I thought that was cute. Do you remember that part?
Yeah, I think I'm actually looking at it. Is it the time sync of the other sex?
It's at minute 11, right after minute 11 in Time chapter.
Oh, then no, I'm looking at something different.
Oh, it's fucking brilliant.
Nice.
He says, it's a characteristic of a woman in our society to take a lot of time nurturing a reality into existence, her version of it. And she will postulate this to a man, her significant other, as an unovercomable quandary. And she needs it to be valued as such. And when you go, oh, that's easy, just call the dentist on Tuesday, you don't have any conception of what that does to the woman, like, and I was just like, oh my God, like,
there's God, I can't remember which book it is. But it's a relationship book, and it talks about, kind of similar to this point, that women, when we speak, we leave breadcrumbs, right? Like, we're not ever going to just kind of tell you the thing right there at the time. Like, we have this trail of breadcrumbs that we lead you through to get to the point.
Oh,
and that's just, because we want to we're telling the whole story. There's a whole narrative to it, right? You want to hear the problem and fix it. Whereas we're just like, well, then this happened, and then this happened, and then this thing happened.
That's why we
and then
were
this
put
thing
here.
happened, and then, yeah.
That's why we were put here. It's so hard, SJ. Why is it going to be so hard? You're like, buck up, wuss.
I don't know. I love y'all asking me to sing a song, but I'm not going to do it today. I just got over being sick.
Oh, God. That's Bumpy Knuckles.
Oh, my God. There's a Bumpy Knuckles.
Yeah, he's a freak.
Oh, no.
So you
Bumpy
all think they're cute. It's so funny. Everybody thinks they're so cute. You know what the damage these animals have done to me? Did you see me on the whale stream after I broke into his house in the Bronx and he shot me and beat me up and threw me out? And then I came home. I came home to heal from that traumatic event with a neck brace on. And as soon as I get in the door, these guys are kicking the living shit out of an injured man. It was horrible. Oh my God. SJ, you don't even know what it's like to deal with this every day. He's a punk.
He looks like a punk. Yeah. He looks like a punk. All right. Well, I think we're gonna end it there. We got, let's see.
We should. It's starting to come. I'm starting to come off the rails.
When Knuckles gets up in here, it's time to go.
Oh well, guess what? It's about to get even deeper. Will you please do me a favor and say some kind of a prayer, perform some ablutions for me to get my show off the ground finally?
Yes, 100%. I mean, look at this. Just this dialogue alone. I feel like you could have. Look, you don't even need another guest. You're entertaining all on your own. And the thing is, too, Thoth, don't worry about time. Don't set yourself up for, I have to do it at a certain time. Because that's kind of, I picked days, right? Like SciVivor Sunday, I wanted it to be earlier in the day, so I'm going to try to stick to that. But like my Woman Crush Wednesday, I leave it up to my guests. I'm like, hey, and that's partially I have the time to do that, But yeah, maybe just a little tidbit of encouragement is, don't make it so that you're going to stress yourself out about it. Like, kind of keep it open-ended and be like, you know what? No, I'm going to stream when I feel like you're ready to do it.
Well, you're an artist, so you understand as an artist, you tend to be a bit of a perfectionist. Like, once again, something I talked to Luther about. It's like you want it to be the way you envision it. So SJ, I wrote the Hex variety show. Like, I could be the Johnny Carson of Hexago. I have skits. I have segments. I have desk time. I have reports. I literally wrote, SJ, an entire Hex variety comedy show. And it's fucked me. Having done so has fucked me, because now I'm just like, oh, it's got to be this. It's got to be this. It's got to be like this, And it's just like, I talk to smart people like, Bran or Ken Kinetics, and they're like, or Nardo, and they're like, dude, literally just plug and play. Like, just turn on the camera and record it.
Yeah. That's the hardest part. We just talked about that in time. That's the hardest part, is getting to the gym. Get to the gym.
I know, but I want it to be perfect, and I want to do my skits, but that's going to take a lot of time and energy. You guys heard of the movie There Will Be Blood?
Mm-hmm.
I wrote a skit called There Will Be Fud. Stay tuned. Please. Stay tuned, Hexago.
Please. The world needs it.
What do you think?
All right, everyone. Hey, when you can, I'm going to ask my audience, go find Thoth on some social medias and encourage him.
I'm Thothschild on Twitter. I think it's Thothschild 0000, and then I'm Thothschild on Telegram. Yeah.
I'm going to put this is his Twitter.
And if you're going to message me, make the first sentence SJ sent me, and then I won't.
Yes, please
throw you in the garbage.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Well, we appreciate you being here. Thothschild, thank you so much for coming on, being my guest, and discussing time.
You know what? I feel so lucky to have made your acquaintance, SJ. I want to thank you like on behalf of the nation, you know, our Hexagon nation, for what you're doing. And I'm not joking in the least when I tell you that, because honey, it is so fucking important. You slid right into a gap, a vacuum that really, really needed you. And I thank you, because what you're doing is you're really like fleshing our little thing out, is what you're
Yeah.
doing. You're like making it like more interesting, more holistic, and more just fucking, for lack of a better term, you know, just more right on, I guess. And I think it's cool. And I think what you're biting off and chewing on and putting out is just like, it's pretty rocking, girl. So I'm glad your star is an ascendancy, and you have my co-signatore and my support. And all you ever need to do is reach out.
Likewise, friend.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your
Namaste.
Sunday.
Be
Have fun
well, everybody.
sci-viving.